All right, happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the weekly Reseller Rewind. I think I'm going to end Fridays with a live show to kind of recap the week of reselling. So, got the topics that I have in mind on the bottom. Of course, always glad to hear others' thoughts, questions, comments. Let me get the link if anybody wants to join me. Put that in the chat. There we go. Oh. All right, let's see. That was weird. Let's try that again. Huh. That's weird. They're not letting me put the link in the chat. Again, YouTube rejected your comment. This is fairly common. Anyway, if you want to join, the link to the live chat is in the 7 Sticks Reseller Mastermind group. Let me see if I can link that. Maybe YouTube will like that a little bit more. All right, that you can follow. So that's the Facebook reseller 7 Sticks Reseller Mastermind group. We do meet Mondays. We had our nice first session this past Monday. We talked about reselling goals, specifically number of listings for the week. And then next Monday we'll meet again. We'll probably talk about how did those goals go, and any other topics we want to talk about. So you can join that page. I do post the weekly link to that chat. We also will have the book club where we're going over Atomic Habits right now. Hey, what's going on, Tri Flippers? How are you doing on this beautiful Friday? Hope all is well. So let me introduce the topics. Now that this is my first week being a full-time reseller, I want to talk about reselling schedules, whether you're part-time or full-time. And I was part-time for several years, probably about 3 years. What does your reselling schedule look like? Let's talk about this with Chris, aka Daily Refinement, on his morning Patreon call this past Monday. And that's something I'm trying to figure out this week and fine tune it. So I want to talk a little bit about that. Another point I want to talk about is, what is your reselling model? Like I had to reevaluate mine today, and we'll talk about that. So what is your model? How do you focus your reselling? Any random reselling stories for the week? I have a semi-interesting one that just happened. Reselling opportunities, and I do want to talk about sell-through rate. One of I won't call them out, but somebody asked me to go over sell-through rate when you're outsourcing. That is one of the factors. When you're looking at picking up inventory, how long will it take to sell? And I'm kind of curious what people in the chat think about sell-through rates. Like, what are you looking for? Do you have a minimum ROI, return on investment, and how quickly are you looking to flip it? Tri Flipper says, pretty well. It's been raining all day here, though. Oh man, we've had plenty of rain today. It's actually nice and sunny, probably in the lower 80s. I've been working in the garage most of the day, shipping, packing, listing, and it hasn't been too bad. I just had to flip on the fan there the last couple hours. All right. So reselling schedule. Well, when I was part-time, obviously when you're part-time, you kind of have to work it around your full-time job. But now that I'm full-time, I have a lot more hours available. So what I've been doing, and I'm really motivated. I've been getting up at like 5 a.m. and work until about 5 p.m. basically until wife and daughter get home. And so that gives me like 12 hours a day, at least 5 days a week. Right now I'm just doing Monday through Friday, so it's 60 hours and getting quite a bit done. But how how do you optimize your schedule? Like, what does that look like? I think a lot of reselling is figuring out your processes. And hold on, it's kind of warm up here. I'm gonna turn on the air. And what exactly does your day look like? I'm kind of curious if people want to share that. Like, what does your reselling day look like? Like for me right now, and it's still a work in progress, like I get up at 5. I try to pack and ship all the orders that I have that came in the previous day. Like I stop at 8. Most days I will jump on Daily Refinement's Patreon call, which I have learned so much. His Patreon call is really good, where we really get in there and talk about reselling the nuts and bolts and ways to process. So from like 5 to 8, get all my shipping done for the day. The Patreon call usually lasts from about 8 to 9. And the good thing about that call, besides the learning aspect of it, is the motivation. Like when I get off of that, when you're on a call, a Zoom call with 15 to 25 other very motivated resellers, and you're all brainstorming and helping each other and trying to figure out ways to become better resellers, man, it's like a shot of a vitamin or something. I don't know. It just really charges me up and it gets my day off to a great start. So that Patreon call usually ends around 9. Sometimes it'll go a little bit later, depending on how many people are there and how busy Chris is. So say it's over at 9, I'll run to the post office, drop off my items to be shipped. And what I need to do, and I've done this a couple times, speaking of atomic habits, like I think once I do that, my post office is right next to this park in Waxahachie. So I think I'm going to then go for a run, probably 30 minutes, as I can't run very long or fast or far right now. 30 minutes to an hour, come home, and then start listing for the day. Now, it may vary depending on what my sourcing schedule looks like. And that's what I try to figure out this week. One day I did go out sourcing. I had to be in Fort Worth at like 5 p.m. And like I had from like 12 to 5 to source, or 1 to 5 to source. So I hit some thrift stores between my house and Fort Worth, and I picked up about 10 pair of shoes. They should net me about $500, but it was not an easy thrifting trip, to be honest. Like at many stores, I barely picked up I did pick up anything or picked up 1 pair of shoe. So so that's what I'm trying to figure out. And then also, right, you got to have time. Like when do you schedule, and do you do offers to likers? Like on eBay. On eBay, I like to send those at nighttime. That's when I like to do my offers to likers on kind of all the platforms. On Poshmark, I do it every night about 8 p.m. On eBay, I will send those offers also about that same time. And on Mercari, I only do that once a week on Mercari. On Sunday nights, I will go ahead and send out offers to everyone who's been watching on there. So trying to figure out the schedule. I think this coming Monday, like I'm pretty good. I got most of my death pile cleared out. I have a few things I need to donate. I think I got 3 or 4 pair of shoes. I'm probably just list those tomorrow. I do have some wholesale stuff that I need to finish. I started working on, but I'll either finish that tomorrow or Monday. And come Monday, I think I'm going to do a big. I'm gonna try this one out. I'm gonna do a full day of sourcing. Now, thing is, Mondays are when I have the most orders. Like I've been having like over 50 orders every Monday. So I'm either going to have to pack a lot of those Sunday night, or get up uber early on Monday to get those packed. And then, like what I'm thinking is I'd like to, if I spend a full day, like 8-10 hours out sourcing, be very strategic about my routes, my thrift stores, and see how many pair of shoes I can source in one day. And then hopefully that'll be enough for the whole week, where then I can just do listing. Anyway, that's my thought. That's what I'm going to try Monday. Flipper says, I'm part-timer, so I'll just randomly check my eBay offers and send them out. I haven't really considered building out a regular schedule yet. And I get that. And I think like from my perspective, as my sales have picked up, it gets harder and harder to be efficient like that. And I think when you're part-time, when you're first starting out, you can get away with that. And I'm not telling anybody how to do things at all. So don't take it that way. But for me, it's like I have to have a routine in place because I'll get sidetracked and then I'm like, what am I doing? So I trying to kind of build out that schedule with those slots so I'll know exactly kind of what I'm doing. And that way I don't forget things, because when I just try to remember, oh yeah, I haven't sent offers out in a while, it'll just kind of slip my mind. And the next thing you know, I've got all these offers. And a lot of time these offers, that's someone actively, your item is in their cart, or they've liked your item, or they've went to your page several times. And so you want to strike relatively soon. Like I don't want anyone to go more than 24 hours when I can send an offer, except for Mercari, because on Mercari I use the price drops where they have the bottom of the floor. Flipper says, one of the other things we started doing is tracking the thrift stores that actually get us products. We've definitely seen some trends. Yeah, that's really interesting. I like that. Like tracking. I know Auction Professor talks about that, like keeping a chart. It could be a notebook, could be a Excel sheet or something, where you kind of track the inventory and where you're getting that. Also, like once you start going to these stores regularly, like I know a couple of them, I know when they normally restock inventory. So being aware of that, learning that information, being friendly with the workers up there, trying to get any type of advantage you can to help you get more and better inventory. All right, topic number 2, I want to talk about models. Kind of curious what everyone's reselling model is. And if you followed me, man, you know I've done just about everything, and that I think they all work. That's a good thing and the bad thing, right? But if you're doing everything, if you're what is a jack of all trades, a master of none. So if you're pretty good at a lot of things, do you ever master anything, right? So when I first started, I started with garage sales. I was running the garage sell store model where I would sell whatever I could find that would make a profit. Started adding thrift stores to the mix. You know, I was doing shoes, I was doing electronics, games, sporting equipment, t-shirts, jeans, suits, pants, jackets, you name it. I was hard goods. I was sourcing it, and that does work pretty well. Like you can definitely make some good profit doing that. Then I added, I've done estate sales in person. I've done the online auctions. Like this past summer, I did online auctions. Those work really well. You can get a lot of inventory that way, not have to leave your house, only just to pick it up. I've done storage units, and storage units can be very profitable. I remember my Nike unit I purchased for like $100, and it's probably made me $5,000 because it was loaded with brand new Nikes. What else? What am I missing? Retail arbitrage. I've done that. Like go to Ross, Marshalls, Burlington, Nike outlets. Pick that stuff up, flip it that way. And so today I haven't been to a garage sale since like February or March. So I did go to some garage sales this morning. I was so excited. And I was so bummed out. I probably went to 10, and the only thing I bought was one pair of shoes out of 10. And I spent like about 3 hours. And I had to evaluate that. I'm like, if I would have spent 3 hours thrifting, because we're in the Dallas area, I'm like, do you know how many thrift stores I could have hit? Like, I know anytime I spend 3 hours thrifting, now I'm probably going to pay a little bit more on my cost of goods, but I'm definitely going to come home with some product. And currently, my current model, like the garage sale method, yeah, that's a good one. That's what I was for the longest time, but I kind of decided like to narrow down to a couple of niches. um, and I'm doing wholesale. I'm doing wholesale jewelry, and that's my bread and butter. I'm doing a little bit other new wholesale items, which I really can't talk about because I don't want to flood the market. But I was figuring with all this extra time, for the longest time, shoes was my main thing, and I love reselling shoes. So I figured with all this extra time, I think shoe reselling is going to be my next thing. And then so evaluating that, if I go to garage sales, if I'm mostly just looking for shoes, I mean, yeah, if I saw, and I did look for electronics because some of these things, the ROI is too high to pass up. But the only thing I came home was one pair of shoe, and that just wasn't. And it could be a bad day because I've been to many garage sales, and it's probably one of the worst garage sale days I've ever had. But I also have to think about it from my model. So once you consider your model, if your model is the garage sale method, well then definitely you want to hit garage sales, thrift stores. Or I could have spent that time on HiBid or some of these other online auction sites where I could have browsed online. Like today I sold, and this will come out on next week's What Sold. I sold a vintage IQ briefcase. It was back in the 70s. Well, before the one I got, I think was from the early 70s. They had these IQ tests, and the psychologist or the psychiatrist would carry them in a briefcase, and it was pretty cool. So I had all the testing equipment in there, and I picked it up this summer on an auction site. I paid $20 with the fees. I think it was $22, and it's been in my inventory. I kind of like listed it and forgot it, to be honest. And it did sell today for $170. Cost me like $13 to ship. So I made over $100 profit on that. And those are the type of things you can also find on these online auction sites. But next, this coming week, I just want to focus, besides my wholesale, I just want to focus on shoes. So Monday is going to be kind of an experiment. I want to see how many thrift stores I can hit in a certain period of time and how much inventory I can acquire. So I guess I think you got to think about your model. TriFlipper says, whatever I can recognize as resale value, I'll pick. Yep, that's the garage sale method too, right? And if you don't recognize it, you can research it at home, or obviously you can look at comps there. And I remember when I first started reselling, I was scared to like look up comps on my phone, and now I'll do it right in front of the person. Like I don't mind telling them that I'm a reseller because that may actually work in your favor. They may have more inventory they want to sell you. But the shoes I saw today were pretty crappy. The only thing I picked up one pair of Wolverine steel toe boots, and those weren't even that great, to be honest. But they were decent. I only paid like $350. All right. How do you build the knowledge to support that? Or are you talking about shoes or like auctions, trap flippers? Well, all right. And that's what I'm going to go through now. And that's my fifth point is sell-through rate. So this is what I recommend everyone do. Like whatever niche you're interested in, you could do this for pants, jeans, tops, dresses, anything, right? Jackets, suits. And I've sold all those at different times. Is spend some time in the eBay sold. So I'm going to actually, let me open the screen here. Let's do this. All right, so here, I'll show you exactly. I'll give you an example. So I'm going to share my screen. And this is what a lot of people don't do, but if I still do this, I still spend at least 15 to 30 minutes a day researching. And Chris, Daily Refinement, he preaches this, and I fully agree with him. All right, so this is, and here's another good tool. I'll talk about this in a second, but let me minimize it. So whatever category you want to learn about, like let's just say men's pants, right? And don't wait till you get to the store to do this. Do this at home. And when I first started, I even had a notepad and I write things down. So if you put men's pants, you search, and you'll see, holy guacamole, almost 2.5 million results. Well, I'm mostly thrifting, so I'm going to narrow that down to pre-owned. All right, now how many do we have? That narrowed it down a lot. Now we got 202,000, right? Now I'm looking for a certain ROI, and over here you want to play with these filters. Like I want pants, only want to pick up pants that are worth over $20 or more. Now we're down to 106,000, but that's how many is available. Let's see how many have sold. 43,000 out of 200,000. So what's that? That's about a 25% sell-through rate. And by the way, this is Snap Seller tool. I do pay for this, and this is a really good tool. And it'll tell you the average sell price based on your search, the sell-through rate, which they're saying is 37%, and the suggested listing price of 36. And this is all I do is I would just then the first time I would just kind of look at brand names, right? Cool, KUHL, Vintage Wrangler, right? You're just looking for trends. Men's Oakley pants, Columbia Titanium Extra Large. Sounds like those are outdoor pants, right? Under Armour, Cold Gear. So I'm already seeing a trend, right? Cold Gear stuff is outside stuff is selling. American Eagle, corduroy straight pants, Nike Golf Performance, Vintage MS Racing, Gore-Tex, motorcycle pants. So there you go. If you didn't know about motorcycle pants, now you know if you saw a pair of motorcycle pants. Look, these sold for 75. Ralph Lauren, Carhartt, and like I've looked at these brands, so I know a lot of these. Carhartt, Ralph Lauren, Wilson's Genuine Leather, Cool. Once again, you'll start to see some of these brands repeating themselves, and you're like, okay, this is a brand to look for. And then you could go in. You could also like, okay, what are they doing as far as photography? You can actually look at the listings, like if like what type of. You can study the listings. Like the first one, they're using the background remover tool. Then the rest are natural. You could look at their descriptions. You could look up the seller if you see somebody that's selling a lot of items that you want to sell. Swiss Tech, cool. Look at all these cool. KUHL, that's the third or fourth one. Or Versace, look at these, $80. Ralph Lauren, Polo Ralph Lauren, once again. So here's another brand if you didn't know. Prana, Columbia, Patagonia, Rothko. You could also look at styles, but you're just looking for trends. Khaki, this is a lot of 4, so I wouldn't really pay attention to this. They lotted up 4. Now this is a good thing if you have 4 lower price pants that you don't want to, that aren't worth your time to list individually. You can lot them all up if they're the same size and sell them as a bundle. REI, Polo again, Redhead. Look at all these outdoor pants. LL Bean. I don't know if people are getting ready to go hiking, if they're getting ready for skiing. Cool again. Polo Ralph Lauren, Under Armour, Patagonia, Craig Norman. And you just go through here, right? If you just did one page a day, Nike Golf, the North Face, J. Crew, Duluth, and most of these are outdoor pants. Adriano Goldschmidt, 511, Cool, another lot, Dockers, Stone Island, Ralph Lauren. So that's all I do is now. If I were doing this on my own, I would go into a little bit more detail, go into some of the individual listings. But that's kind of the first step, is to spend time studying the solds in whatever category you want to learn about. So if you want to learn about jackets, do the same thing with jackets, shoes, suits, etc. Now, actually, let me get back here. Somebody asked me about sell-through rate. So let's look at sell-through rate. All right. So let's do a different search. Now, this is you're outsourcing. You find a specific pair of, let's just say shoes this time, right? I don't know, Brooks Glycerin. Let's say I find a pair of Brooks Glycerin 17s men's. Let me clear my filters. Of course, you can do this on your phone too. All right, so the filters are sold. Now, this is a cheat sheet. I pay for this Snap Seller tool, so it gives me the sell-through rate right here. So this is a great extension. I think it's $14.99 a month, but you can still do the same thing without this. And I did it for years, and I still do it on. I'll use this to help me when I'm actually pricing items to list. But if I'm out and I find a pair, let's say I find a pair like this at the thrift store and they're $7, right, or $8, and I have to make a decision. Am I going to sell these? So I'm gonna look at a couple things. First of all, and you can do this on your phone, right? You want to make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Go to pre-owned, and that narrows it down. Now there are 75 available. And see, this is going to cheat, but pretend that's not there. You got 75 pre-owned availables, and you could even break it down by size right now. If this 75 is very manageable, but if you had 1,000 of these, then you might want to narrow it down by size to get more specific. But 75 is fine. So now I'm going to click on how many have sold. So 75 pre-owned are available. I've clicked on pre-owned. That's all I've done, right? And now I want to know what is the sell-through rate. So I'm going to click sold. You can do this on your phone or here. 187 have sold out of 75 available. And they've kind of done the math for you here. That's 204 is what they're saying. That is a great sell-through rate. Now, the sell-through rate is based on a 3-month period. And my goal is like I want to move my shoes or my merchandise within 3 months. I don't want to keep it in inventory forever. If there were 75 available and only 10 had sold, and their average sell price, like here, this will cheat. This will give you the average sell price. Look, the average sell price on these 63. But let's say the average sell price was $30, and the sell-through rate. Let's see, they even color coded green's like a green light, right? But the sell-through rate out of the 75 available, say only 5 had sold in the past 90 days. Your sell-through rate would be 5 divided by 75, be very low, be under 10%. I would not pick those up. For me, normally the sell-through rate, now there are a couple of factors, right? What if the average sell price is $100? Speaking of selling, it's not like I just got an eBay sell. If the average sell price is $100, but the sell-through rate is lower, maybe it's 20%. So what that is going to take a long time to sell, but eventually I'm going to make some good money. But these are perfect, right? Your sell-through rate is really high. The average sell price is high. And if I'm only paying $8, this is a no-brainer all day long. I'm picking these up. Now let's find another shoe that maybe doesn't have such a high sell-through rate. How about here we go. Let's say some Florsheim leather tassel shoes. I don't know. Let's say you find these. Let's take the filters off. Because once you're in a certain category, you're going to run across the same thing a lot. All right. So I do want to be in pre-owned. Where is pre-owned? Used. Okay. So if I'm looking for this shoe, if I see this shoe at the thrift store, there are about 11, almost 1,200 available, and that's cheating, right? There's about 1,200 available used, and I want to say, well, how many of these have sold in the past 3 months? So basically, round up 1,200 available. Come on, computer's running slow. 1,200 available. Come on now. Well, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Let me refresh this. All right, so 1,200 available. I'm sorry, let's bring it down to used. 700 are available used. And this is cheating. It's it's a cheat sheet, but you can see how it helps you out. How many of these have sold? 700 available, 76 have sold. So you're talking about a 10% sell-through rate, right? And And then you want to look at your price, right? Like, which one do you have? What's the condition of it? Which exact model do you have? The color, you can narrow it down by color. Let's say you have the black pair. Now you've got 38 have sold, and your sell-through rate is 11%. The average sell price suggested. Now, these I would probably pass on unless they were in immaculate condition. If I did pick these up, I know it's going to take me a long time to sell them probably. So when you're outsourcing, there's several factors, right? What is your cost of goods? How much are you have to pay for the item? What do you think you can get for it? You got to factor in the condition of the shoes. How long do you expect to sell it? And then what is your model? Do you price high? Do you price in the middle? Do you try to do a quick flip, a quick nickel, or slow dime? Right? These are all factors you have to consider. But the sell-through rate is one of the most important ones. For me personally, I like the sell-through rate to be like 30% or higher. I really like to be 50% or higher. Once it gets close to 100% or higher, it's a no-brainer. But even at 50%, if your sell-through rate is 50% in a 3-month period, that means double that to 100%. Within 6 months, it should sell. 100% sell-through rate means within 3 months it should sell. And then the higher this rate, the better. All right, let me drop that. So Andrew or whoever else, if you don't know about sell-through rate, I know a lot of people do, but somebody asked me about that. I'm trying to help them out. Not a problem. And I build in time every day. I still do that. It's so important. Now, every once in a while I forget to do it, but most days I will still search. And think about it. If you're selling 10, 15 different categories, it's going to be hard to do that in all those. But if you only sell in a couple of different categories, it's easier. Like for me, shoes and a couple of other categories, mostly what I sell in. So I can put the time in those categories and get a big return on my time. Hey, what's up, Scott? Dumpster Diver Dad or Amazon? That's the guy. If you need help with Amazon, he is your man. He kills it with the RA, the retail arbitrage. He knows how to work the charts. That's the man. It's going well, man. We're wrapping up the week. How's your week, Scott? And don't forget, Monday we have our mastermind group. Like I said, guys, join the 7 Sticks reselling group, and you can join our mastermind call. It's Mondays. Good way to relax. Yeah. And that's kind of the thing. Like, I think we start our week with a mastermind group, and eventually it may move to a daily call. But for right now, keep it weekly. And then Friday, I'm kind of thinking Friday is a little time of reflection. Like, how's your week? Like, I haven't hit my listing goals yet. I know that. I've had some things come up this week. Like Claudia and Emma stayed home one day, so I didn't work as much as I normally would have. And then we had issue with Elvis, taking him to the vet. And so some unexpected things. So I have not hit my 50 listings yet. I haven't counted them exactly, but I am going to list some more tomorrow, and really got to try to hit that goal. But Friday's a good time to reflect. What's up, Jay? Jay's the man from the UK. As we relax, rewind, kind of think about our reselling week. So that covers a couple of things. We talked about a reselling schedule. What's your model? What type of reselling model are you working on? Because I think people need to be focused. Now, if yours is the garage sale model, that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you have a very wide net when you do that model, right? So you're going to be able to scoop up a lot of stuff. You're just not going to be really an expert in any particular niche, but you'll know a little bit about everything, and that's fine. How to do research, what does a sell-through rate look like? Those are all key things. All right, the third point today, random reselling stories. Now, this was kind of interesting. I was working in my garage about an hour ago, and I had the garage door open because it's a nice day. It wasn't too hot. And I was talking to my brother on my phone while I was working. He called me, and this lady stopped in an SUV, Hispanic lady. She got out, and she said, "Excuse me, you having an estate sale?" I'm like, "No." but do you know where one is around here? Let's go. um, but I think that's kind of a testament to my garage. My garage is, even though I've got shelves and bins, my garage cell is probably 85% at capacity. It is filled with inventory. Like if I gave an estate sale, it would probably be one of the better estate sales you could find. Like, oh my gosh, um, so much inventory, so much money. But I thought that was kind of funny that she mistook my garage for an estate sale. Oh, the battery. Hold on. Let's see. Make sure that's plugged in. Yeah. Okay. Just this other laptop looked like the battery was getting low. All right. Another interesting thing that came up today. My brother-in-law Jason, he sells swimming pools. He's killing it, by the way. A lot of swimming pools being sold right now. He knows someone whose mother passed away. It's a friend of his, and the guy was about to just take all of her stuff and just donate it or trash it. But he knows that I'm a reseller, so he took some pictures and he said, "Man, there's a lot of old electronics here. There's some vintage and old antique looking stuff, man." I told him, "Don't throw that away. Don't throw that away. Like, do you want to see if you can get with him to go take a look at it?" So I got the guy's number and I gave him, well, I didn't even call. Actually, I texted him, kind of introduced myself, say, "Hey, I'm Jason's brother-in-law. You know, I'm a reseller. I understand you have a lot of stuff you're looking to unload. Do you think it's possible that I could come maybe take a look at it?" So I'm going to go take a look at it tomorrow. Now, this goes against my model. My model is not currently bulk purchasing unless it was all shoes. But I do think when opportunities fall in your lap, you would be kind of foolish not to. So I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm going to check it out, and I'll look a few things up, figure out what a rough ballpark figure of what it might be worth. How much of it is junk. Like if I do pick it up, depending on how much it is, I'm probably going to have to get a storage unit because my garage is almost at capacity. And knowing the fact that he's just trying to unload it, we talked about this on Chris's Patreon call one day. Like he's helping us develop flyers to get people to bring you merchandise, and he's developed one and he shared the template. Which, man, just to have that template's probably worth the $129 a year to have access to that. And that's something else on the back burner. I want to get a flyer like that, preferably just for shoes. But anyway, so Chris has these flyers, and he's already had like 5 or 6 people call him where he's been able to get basically as before anyone else. Like they haven't hired an estate sale company to come out, so he's able to go in first once they reach out to him, and then he'll give them. He prices it around 10%. So if he thinks it's $5,000 worth of merchandise, he'll offer $500, and he knows there's some wiggle room. Like my rule of thumb is basically you can go up to about a third of what you think it's worth and still make money. But like offer 10%, and like a lot of times they'll take it because they don't want to mess with it. They don't want to hire anyone. They just want it gone. A lot of these people just want this stuff gone. So that's what I'm thinking tomorrow. Hopefully there's some good stuff there. Get a ballpark figure, kind of fill the guy out, see what he's looking for. And if it looks like it's good, like my brother-in-law Jason is saying, make him an offer and get that stuff and get it relisted. And I do think like when you first start, like everyone's model should be garage sale at the beginning, because you need to learn a little bit about everything. Like I've been doing it now for about 3 years, part-time, just now going full-time. But I've come across a lot of different things. I've done storage units, I've done auctions, I've done estate sales, I've done garage sales, so that when I come across things, I at least have an idea. Some things I know, or at least I know how to look it up. Or even if I can't find it, I'll have a general idea of what it may be worth. So I think everyone, that should be their model at the beginning. Now, if you want to continue doing the garage sale model, that's fine. Me personally, I'd prefer to niche down and kind of become an expert in 1 to 3 areas. All right, let me catch up on the chat. We got Scott and Jay. Yeah, flyers, yep. And he even puts a QR code, a phone number, like attached to a Google phone number, so it's not your own personal phone number. So it's really brilliant. It's a good looking flyer. So I'm going to probably work on that this weekend. I'm going to change some things up. I'm just trying to figure out if I could do just shoes or if I should just do general merchandise, because I don't know if I want to be cleaning out everybody's estate. But then again, that could be some good money. People on the Nextdoor app, that's a good one. Yep. That's a good app for sourcing as well as Facebook Marketplace. Where do you put the flyers at? Nicer neighborhoods for the real ones, also virtual ones, Craigslist, and any other platforms that'll let you put them up, maybe Nextdoor app. Places where you're going to find people that are looking to buy or to get rid of stuff. All right, let's get caught up on the chat. By the way, link, guys, if y'all want Scott or Clay, if y'all want to join me, make it not a solo show in the 7 Sticks Mastermind. The link to the chat, to the live chat is in there. It won't let, YouTube will not let me put that in here. It's kind of weird. I don't know what's up with that. If y'all want to jump on to talk, we can split some of the places. You take more shoes. Yeah, I mostly just want shoes. I do like electronics still a little bit, so I would probably be interested in electronics. Look at Clay trying to get on my flyer. All right. So I guess that would be opportunities, and I think like that's the value of these mastermind groups. You know, whether you join mine, the one that we do, we do a version of the mastermind group. Chris's is like on high octane. And I was only to make 2 of the 5 calls. Like I couldn't make today because I had to pick up Elvis from the vet at 8 a.m. and then before and after I hit some garage sales, so I couldn't make it today. One day I was out sourcing, so I couldn't make it. But any day I can make that mastermind call, I'd definitely make it. All right, I think I've hit all the topics. How's everybody's week been? I know Tri Flippers was talking. Anybody want to jump on the show with me? It's a little lonely here. Let me see. Let me try one more time if I can get this into the chat. There it goes. I don't know. All right, there's the link, guys. Scott, Clay, somebody, anybody. Because I'm running out of talking points. I don't want to ramble up here. So somebody wants to jump on. Make it a little easier. Ow. A little easier for me. But I guess talk a little bit about full-time reselling. Let's see. Clay's in the car. He's got some fries. Probably went to Cane's. Sending the shade. I think so. I think I've seen people jump on from their phones. I think the link would work. But all right, so I will say this, and I talked to my therapist about this, counselor. I'm like Clay. I'm kind of open book, trying to get better, trying to work on different things. And he asked me how does it feel, and I like to be honest, it feels amazing to be a full-time reseller now. Like teaching, I loved teaching for a long time, loved coaching, but the stress of the job, the coronavirus and all that, I just been burned out. Now, at the same time, I feel guilty because my wife is still teaching, and she's ready to get out of teaching too. So that fuels my fire to work harder, to make more money, to be able to get her out as soon as possible. And I shared this with Clay. Like I had a great week as far as reselling numbers. I'm keeping my numbers weekly now, which is another thing I'm trying to get more organized, so I know my numbers. And like for me, they were really high. And like this week reselling, basically it equaled what I would make in a week, part-time reseller and full-time teacher. And so I'm like, well, if I can keep growing that, my goal is to be able to bring my wife, and she can be a lister. She can help me with the reselling. But man, it feels so good not to be your own boss. There is some pressure. There is some anxiety that comes with that. I know for like the first week when I made after we made the decision, and I couldn't sleep at night. Like, oh my, Clay could probably relate to this. I'm like, did I just screw up? Like, I gave up a very secure job to do something that is not secure. But all these books we talk about, Think and Grow Rich, Atomic Habits, all these self-help books, it talks about believing in yourself, right? Like, if you don't ever, I wish Val was here. Like, she left a really good comment on the YouTube videos about like an anchor, right? Like, a lot of people work at jobs that they don't like, but they're like anchors. Like that job is an anchor, it keeps them in place. And I'm probably butchering her quote, but it's like this metaphor that your job is an anchor of safety, but you're not really getting anywhere because you're not doing what you want to do. So once you cut loose that anchor, then you're free to really sell. And that's kind of how I feel like it. I feel guilty. Oh, there we go. There we go. Clayster. Kind of feel guilty that she is still having to work in a job she doesn't want to. While I'm enjoying the freedom, but there is definitely freedom. Hey, what's up, Clay?
Hey, I'm trying to get the volume right.
How's the Clay Mobile?
It's good. I'm going to unplug from the car. Maybe I can get the volume right.
You're coming across nicely.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the there maybe better lighting. Yeah, I went to Cane's again, and I've been listening. I saw you were on. Maybe I missed the first few minutes or something. I knew you were maybe going to. So I was watching while you talked to Brian or
Who?
Brian.
Brian.
I-N.
Yeah, the Y or the I. Like, I spell mine the correct way.
The I and the Y. Yeah. Yeah, if y'all had a show, that would be the name.
Right.
The I and the Y resellers. Yeah.
I like it. Y-I. Yeah, I was just talking. What was I talking about early? Just
Claudia, the guilt, and that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something I'm still trying to work through. But and we talk. Dang, I'm getting to my personal business. I'm being vulnerable, right?
You're like me, yeah.
Like she like her feelings were hurt. She felt like I just abandoned her, right? Because she went into teaching because I said, hey, our schedules, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Our schedules would be the same, but she never really wanted to. She's a great teacher, but she never really wanted to. And so she feels like I bailed on her and wasn't really, and I didn't know because I felt guilty because I was doing it. So I didn't want to talk about it with her.
Yeah.
But that's what I needed to have done. And we had a talk, but we kind of worked that out. But it's pushing me to get those numbers up too.
Yeah, well, and at least you brought it up. I mean, you didn't just quit, which is good. You discussed it. You showed her numbers. She was obviously maybe not as comfortable, but hey, and I get it about, now she's like, you got me into this. But the good thing though is when she got into it, like 8 years ago,
mm-hmm.
It was in my head, money-wise, schedule, it was better than the stuff at least when I first met you 13 years ago, right?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
I mean, I'm not saying that executive assistant, isn't that what she's doing, was a bad job. Like, the money and the schedule with your kids, like, overall, it was good. But I get now that, when you, like, pulled it, she's figured it out that she's like, oh, because she probably could, like, help you and then, like, tutor kids in Spanish, or something like that, and or do that online. I mean,
there's lots of options. Or she could just list shoes from here. We could be like Renzi.
Yeah.
I told her about Renzi. Like,
yeah,
we could be a reselling duo.
But seriously, when she quits teaching, I bet she could tutor some kids for like a good amount per hour, like after school. Because when I took Latin in high school, I don't know why. I guess mom wanted me to or something.
Yeah.
And 1 year, my first year, I had to have a tutor because the teacher was not very good. And so that lady probably made a boatload of money, I don't know, get the right audience,
Right.
HP parents had the cash to burn.
Well, and I think the only other factor, and this is probably why she's still staying, because I've told her, I mean, looking at her numbers, like I've shared them with you, but they're pretty good. I think if she
Oh
came on
yeah.
board, we'd be okay. But Emma, our daughter, is able to go to like
Yeah,
all her
that's
friends
right.
because she works
Yeah,
there.
that's
And so
huge.
trying to figure that part out, but you know,
See? Oh, yeah, because that alone right there, you're like, oh. But
yeah,
then you're like, let's just say Claudia does the rest of this year. You're like, if she's done, and I think she could just, if she just worked like the amount of hours I do, let's say, that would bring in a lot of money. And if you
mhm,
end up doing the other thing you've talked about, like, but then
yeah.
you're like, she has this many more years to do it. Like that would be like you and I just like, just
Well,
for
I'm
her.
in. What I need to learn is not, and I've talked about this with my therapist. Like, not he always tells me lean into the difficult things that you run.
Yeah.
Like I tend to I'll either fight you or
Yeah.
run from things I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
comfortable with. Physically, I'll fight, but emotionally, I'll run usually.
Yeah.
Um, but he's like, lean into it. Like I should have had that conversation. Like she says, I'm very practical. If you just would have been there, we could have talked it through. But like for me, it's like I feel that guilt. Like I feel bad that you have to do this, and I'm guilty for enjoying myself as a full time reseller now. So
Right.
that's what I'm trying to work through. But I mean, as
Yeah.
far as the actual reselling, man, it feels so good. Like I was singing, and I can't sing very well. I was singing in the car this morning, just driving to garage sales.
Oh yeah.
Such a good
So
move.
yeah, like for those watching, I think probably everybody watching or the main people we know are watching. I'm helping those kids with virtual school, and overall, it's so much better than teaching. And most of the kids that Brian and I had were great, but that one kid that can ruin a class can ruin it. And when you're too nice like me, you get run over every day. And then I was bored of it. And even though one of these kids likes to just push and push, he's still like today is like, Mister, you coming to my football game tomorrow? Like, I mean, you're like, oh, and I'm not because I'm going to go see my niece and nephew.
Right.
But I was like, also, I'll come, I'll make it next week. And I probably will. And he just pushes and pushes because, like, as my cousin Angie said, they're wicked smart. And this is we could have a whole discussion on this. She was like, respect has to be earned. And I know some ways I handle stuff. I guess maybe that first day getting loud when I got frustrated, maybe that triggered something in their head and then they're going to push back. But, so as I've told Brian, I'm done working with kids unless it's volunteering truly, when it's fun and they'll listen to you, generally. But yeah, like me, I'll make the same amount this month as I did teaching. And it is pretty much glorified more towards the babysitting and calming them down when the internet doesn't work. And I
Right.
mean, I think the parents are happy with me. I kind of worry about that, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean,
They haven't fired you, but I mean,
no, I
they're
mean, yeah. One was like, it was like, well, no, besides internet, the boys are safe, they're learning, so we'll call it a win. Now, I of course want to read into it and be like, what does that mean? But I'm like, hey, she paid. She knows her kid likes me. She knows I showed up at the games. I think she likes that. Like, maybe I'm not the exactly what they thought, but none of us knew what the definition really was.
right.
But it's like, yeah, every day when I look down, Brian's been to my apartment and I walk to my car and I can look and it's like 100 yards down and there's a brick wall, but there's a gate that's locked up. The fireman would just come through and I can see this middle school that's right by my apartment. Brian's seen it, Long Middle School. And now that the teachers are back in the building teaching, I'm just like, oh my God, it's so nice to look down and see cars are on the way to right across the street. Right there's that's a middle school. And then there's like an elementary I drove by and I'm like looking, seeing cars. They're going, as I've told Brian, I know I'll make it, but I don't care if I literally have to charge rent for a month or two, it's totally worth it. I mean, to quit
Yeah.
and it and the stress level, I can make that money back in no time. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, like right now you've got the tutoring, babysitting,
Yeah.
whatever, I don't know what the title is, the pod
I,
leader, pod teacher,
yeah.
pseudo teacher, pseudo babysitter. I mean,
Yeah.
that's bringing money and it's not quite what you want to be doing, but it gives you some security.
For this
But,
month.
but
Yeah.
I promise you, like, if you didn't have that, it's almost like the sink or swim. Like, if you start putting in the 40 to 60 hours a week reselling, your results would pick up. Like,
Oh yeah.
and you would probably make as much, if not more.
Yeah.
You just have to, that's why on the Sterling thing is like, what is your reselling schedule? You just have to develop
Oh
a
yeah.
schedule and stick with it. Like mine starts at 5,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll keep until 6.
Yeah.
But right now, as I'm trying to prove and that's where I'm at, it may eventually ease up a little bit, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. And as much as I bitch those days, some of that's because I'm tired because I love my cat, but she's better, but not sleeping great. And then I've got anxiety probably with am I gonna make enough? Am I doing a good job with the kids and blah blah blah. So I'm like, I got it for one more week. They haven't
right,
mentioned if they'll use me, which I'll let them bring it up
right.
because it's a half day thing is what they'd be doing.
Hmm.
So the parents might want me and it might be at their house instead of having to continually pay for this church. And if it's a half day, I might still do it because depending if it was morning or afternoon, because if it's just 3 hours, even if they reduce the pay, it'd be like, well, or pay the same amount per hour. Because I kind of figured out I'm making, I guess it's just $6 an hour. But when you think about it, you're like, I'm making 3,600 for 4 weeks. That's almost what I made teaching. How many
Well,
people?
you can't be making $6 an hour then. Is it six
Well,
bucks an hour per kid?
per kid. That's what I
Well,
mean.
yeah,
Yeah, sorry, per
that's what
kid. Yeah, per kid,
multiply that times
which
two.
isn't a lot, but for what I'm doing, I mean, how many? Like, not to be mean, I feel bad, but like at Canes in a month, they're not making $3,600 cash.
No.
So, but yeah, I know. Once I get on his schedule, like I'll go home in a minute. I just didn't want to go home because I was like, maybe I'll go walk or something. But I might hit a Goodwill. Probably won't. There's one literally right behind me, just about. But I'll go home and I'll cross list tonight for a few hours, and tomorrow cross list, and Sunday cross list and list. Pack.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's another topic I forgot to put on the scroll, related topic. So I found out something today. And one of the keys to my success is cross listing. Like I told you, I went back to list perfectly because
Yeah.
now that I'm full time, I need stuff to sell faster because I need
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
cash flow. And so I'm cross listing on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Facebook
Face. Yeah.
Marketplace. And some things I will manually list on OfferUp too, because I've always done well on OfferUp. And some on Grailed if it's like higher end shoes. Um, and it's leading to my sell-through rate speeding up on these items because more eyes are on them. But
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace is really one of those platforms that's kind of taken off for me over the past couple weeks. And so today I logged in because I had a sale and I went to, and the other thing about Facebook Marketplace, people are paying full price. Like it's a different group of people. Each platform has a different type of people, different demographics. Some want to haggle more than others. And as of right now, Facebook Marketplace people, from my experience, are paying, I would say 90% of them are just paying full price. I've had one negotiate and maybe it was like a 20% discount, and that was fine.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, I went to go ship a label today, and I got a message from Facebook Marketplace. You have surpassed $599 in sales. So to continue listing, we need to get your tax information. So they need them because obviously they're going to report a 1099, which is fine because I include those sales in my spreadsheet and my bookkeeping. So if you didn't know about Facebook Marketplace, once you hit $5.99 in sales, they will want your information. And I'm inferring that obviously they're going to send a 1099 in. But I think, and Scott talked about Facebook Marketplace, and we talked a lot about it on our little group, that is definitely a marketplace on the rise.
Yeah.
So there's just a little tidbit information that, like, a lot of people know eBay was 20,000. Well, it used to be 20,000 for PayPal, but now with managed payments, is there a threshold? I mean,
Huh.
like I'm way over 20,000, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
But like for people, and I know you're supposed to report. I'm not a tax attorney or anything like that, CPA. But I know some people probably aren't reporting if they're not, if a 1099 is not being sent to the IRS.
Yeah, they
What
probably.
does that look like with managed payments?
I don't
Because
know.
PayPal's not in charge of it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. See, because I did because I had my Uber and just to do it, but rather to send it not than get busted later on.
Right. No, yeah. But I'm just saying, some people out there I know
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah. The
curious.
manager. I don't know. Hey, Craig, that's Two Dogs Digs.
Yep. Scott says he loves. Yeah, Scott gave us the heads up on Facebook Marketplace several weeks ago, and I jumped on it, and I've had great results. So if you're not using it, guys, the shipping option is there.
Yeah, it
Consider it.
kicked in for me finally. I don't know why, but it
Maybe
did
it's just
ask
a
me
delay.
too. I had to give it some information, maybe my like social security and
Well,
some
you got it
stuff.
tied into your bank account to get your payment processed.
Yeah, they asked for that. Yeah, so nobody's bought anything, but I don't know. I have a bunch of stuff on. I already
Well,
had like 5 things on there. Now I have however many things I've cross listed in the last like couple of weeks, which maybe 30 or 40 things are on. Like I'm using the 4 platforms you are, and as I told you, I'm going back, and I'm not doing everything, but the newer things like these purses my mom gave me, like a Tory Burch like big bag, I cross listed today because I got my hotspot to work enough. Um, so and a couple people on Macari like it, so I'm going to send an offer on that, whatever. But yeah, so I'm trying to go back, and tonight I'll just go through my eBay listings and be like, yeah, that's worth cross listing, and it doesn't take long if your internet works right.
right. It's pretty
Once
fast.
you get it down, and on what Macari, you add hashtag Nike running, hashtag
Yeah,
Nike Zoom, and once you learn the boxes, you can do it in like
yeah. That's the big thing is learning the boxes. Like I timed myself Saturday, and I
yeah,
think the best I got cross listing on all 4 platforms on shoes was like 12 minutes. But
that's
I
pretty
think
good. Yeah,
not bad to have that up on
it's
4 platforms. But I'd like to get it around 10 minutes because that's
yeah.
the difference between 5 items listed an hour or 6.
Yeah, see, I haven't timed it because, like I say, the internet where I'm at or my hotspot's so whatever. But like tonight at home, I should be able to crank out like I don't
Well,
know.
and here's another little thing. Like I use my notepad, like I have templates. I create templates and I'll have
Oh
a
yeah.
notepad, copy and paste. So I can put that in there and just.
Oh yeah, because you're doing it from List Perfect,
Well,
right? Now.
sometimes lately I've been doing it from eBay. Like I'll create because eBay has the most specifics. So I will create the listing on eBay and then
Yeah,
cross list it from eBay.
that's what I do. Yeah,
That works pretty well too.
because I almost every listing is sell similar or from Sell Hound if it's clothes or shoes. Or recently I've done some of the hats you gave me or a couple of the trucker hats. I'll create a generic, but even then I'll use Sell Similar and just change a whole bunch of crap just so it populates a few things for me, or something.
Yeah, you just got to be careful on the sizes and make sure you get everything signed up. Like what you were saying earlier, learning all those boxes, learning which ones where you don't have to take forever to slowly go through each box, where you just kind of
Yeah,
know
you
one thing
just
at a time.
flow and the shipping and
Mm-hmm.
like that's the other thing. Like on a few of the things that I'm just kind of guesstimating, like hard goods that I haven't packed up yet, or like this purse that my mom has. It's a big ass purse, so it's not going to fold down. It's like a harder plastic, so it's going to go in to keep it nice, a big old box. So I put like 5 to 10 pounds on Macari just to be safe. I'm like,
Right.
since all they're doing is what the weight, I guess, more or less, right?
Well, they have the dimensions too, but
They
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Huh? Some of them I feel like.
But I think
Oh
the
yeah, that did. It's Poshmark, I guess, is maybe just weight or something.
I think
Yeah,
the
and
weight,
Facebook maybe is just weight. Generally, I
yeah,
guess.
Facebook is just weight's obviously the more important of the two.
Yeah, so I'm trying to just go above worst case, you know, or
Right.
that 2 to 5 for clothes and shoes. I'm just choosing 2 to 5 on Facebook for any clothes or shoes because that should cover it.
Yeah. if they're real light shoes, I'll do the 1 to 2.
Yeah.
But if they're a little bit heavier, 2 to 5, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to get some sales from there, but they'll come. I'm just trying to get it all out across more platforms, you know. That's
Yeah,
all
so
I care about.
Keen, I think they were, I don't know if they were sandals or, no, those were shoes. Pair of Keen shoes on there.
Yeah. Who was it? Someone tagged Renzi. They bought like at some store, Goodwill, or maybe it was like RA, they ended up with like 15 pairs of like Keen, you know, the water shoes or something like that, you know, real cheap. And I'm like, dang.
That thing sounds more like RA. Like it'd be hard to find a pair in a thrift store.
Yeah.
Usually if I find 1 or 2, like 1, I'm usually happy.
Yeah.
Because that's a brand that you know is going to sell as long as it's a good.
Yeah.
And
when we had that draft last year and we didn't have a size on it. It was the last pair we chose. And once I sent it to Sellhound, I made money. So I knew a few months ago that Lady Tiffany I've told you about at a garage sale, I have a pair listed now for like $30, and I think I paid 2 or 3, you know, or something. Oh, here's a brand of, these are like vintage German hiking boots. It's like Iowa or something, or like AIWA or something.
LOWA,
Loa, that's it. Yeah.
Remember we went to that garage sale with that lady that had those real nice boots?
I think in North Dallas, maybe.
Yeah, like I think I paid $15 or $20 for them.
Okay.
Yeah. And that brand.
Yeah, that was the day we ended up with the lady whose backyard was full of crap. Yeah.
And I think I got like $100 or more for those. Like it was a really nice sale. Because I looked them up, I was like, holy! Like at the time, I didn't know that brand either.
Yeah, I kind of looked them up at this
Hey, Craig, can you talk to the audience for a minute? I got to take this call. I'm gonna mute my.
Yeah, so Loa people, LOWA, I picked them up, and these are older looking, but I think I paid 2, and I have them listed. Sellhound said 70 something, and I think I bumped them up, and I think they're listed on eBay because I'm running the random 46% sale right now. So I've only had 1 sale though, so you know, it's fine. Anybody going to garage sales this weekend? I have crap to list, not a ton, but 15, maybe 10 to 20 things. But on the way to the suburbs tomorrow morning, I might hit a couple, because if I'm going to get up early to feed the cat and check on her and all that, or she'll wake me up, I'm like, maybe I'll hit a few. I've already looked on what is the app I use? A yard sale app. So I might hit a few garage sales. Try not to pick up too much more, because I almost had my death pile gone several times, and I want to get it gone. So then I can like list, like, you know, like buy list kind of. So if I'm done with that teaching gig, babysitting teaching, and like next Friday, then next Saturday I could go to garage sales, and whatever I buy, then I have like 2 days to list it, right? And then I can go back out with Brian or alone and hit like, God, in Dallas Fort Worth, there's so many Goodwills and thrift stores. And I'm going to try to find even more, but you know, like maybe it's an 8 to 8 thrifting day, and then I have 2 days to list everything or something. That's the goal, is to just buy and list. Here he is. My watch is telling me to stand up. I've been sitting in the car too long.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
Thanks. And by the way, if I've ever known anybody that I can say, hey, just talk for a while,
me. Give me a topic or don't. Yeah.
It don't matter.
Do we want to talk about people? Are the Stars going to win or not? I kind of care, kind of don't. The Lakers should be tied 2-2 with the Nuggets because they blew a game. And LeBron cried to the NBA like the Lakers do. So, and who do you have to be for when it's the Heat and the Lakers? I'm like, I don't want to be for either, but I'll probably be for the Heat because Jay Crowder, who used to play for the Mavericks, I guess.
Yeah, I don't like either of them. Hey, what's up?
I know, right? Hey, Scott.
What's Dallas going to do against Tampa Bay, right?
They got to win tonight.
They got to win tonight. That's
can't go down to the rewind.
it's got to go a couple more games at least. So
Yeah, I think a lot of people here, probably from what they say on the sports radio, are pretty happy that, considering we what before it started up again, we're seated fourth, and the little round robin played like crap, I think, but moved up and then
right.
got hot. So to me, I think a lot of people are like, okay, we'll take it. So if you lose, and Tampa, the last they won the cup, wasn't it, within the last 5 to 7 years? I feel like
Yeah, about 5 years. Yeah,
they're a
exactly.
power. I feel like, you know what I mean. So
Because Vegas won it last year, but who won it the year before that? I forget.
yeah, or something, or DC finally in the
DC,
last few, Nashville and
Nashville,
Tampa.
yeah.
I don't know. I'll probably watch it or I'll flip around, but
I jumped on the bandwagon. Hockey's not normally something I follow, but I mean they're in the final, so I am on the bandwagon.
Right.
And if you could go to games, and if Corona, the whole city would be swept up in it. But because last year during the playoffs, when we made the Western Conference Finals against St. Louis, you could see it and feel it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe Sacramento, it's not to be mean to the Kings, but when they should have gone to the NBA Finals 15 years ago, you can feel it. But with Corona, you're like, how many of these people around here know that the Stars are, in
even
the
play,
finals?
right?
I think even in Tampa, it's like that. You win, and people are like, "Oh, they won." Yeah,
And then what about the Astros? What's going on with them? They're on fire, right?
Yeah, I just want them to lose. I
want them to lose too, but that's they took everything away from them, and still they're going to end up in the playoffs. So
they are. Yeah, I just want them swept in the first round. That's the only bad thing of not getting to go to games this year. I don't boo at games, especially your own team. I just don't believe in that, because I'm like, they're pros, so I know when you boo or you say they suck, I know what you mean, but shut the F up. They really don't. They're way better than me and your sorry ass sitting here. But
not the Kings.
I was going to boo the Astros all game, unless my dad told me to be quiet. And I had already told him I'm going to be hydrated for a marathon and just boo them the whole game.
You just spend the whole time in the restroom.
Yeah. And they just cheated. They cheated. They cheated. It's so bad.
Well, they cheated and they got caught. I'm sure other teams are doing it, but they got caught.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But and I hate the Astros because they're the Rangers' rival now,
Yeah.
Now that they're good and they're in our division. When they're National League, I didn't care. Who cares? There's no rivalry,
Right. Exactly.
It's like the Texans. They're not really a rival of the Cowboys. The Oilers were, kind of.
Right.
Texans?
The good old Oilers.
We might not go, in the NFL nowadays, who knows who's really going to the Super Bowl.
Two dogs digs. Hey, I know sports. We're not a sports channel, but think about, you can look at anything from a reselling perspective, knowing which teams are in the playoffs, like right now, which jersey you should look for, etc.
Yeah.
So somebody was saying that on Macari, I think it was Alton that was saying that his sports stuff is selling pretty good on Macari right now. So
I could see it. I mean, because everything's back.
I got sweaters and jackets that are sports teams, Broncos, and then the Kings. So there's, it's not gonna sell until it gets colder, of course. But But
that was like when The Last Dance came out on ESPN, the Jordan story, all the Chicago stuff. I didn't really have hardly anything, but if you had that merchandise in your inventory, it was going to sell.
Well, so that's kind of the tick on sports cards. They were worthless. They were
and now they're just the hottest thing. I feel
exactly. And
after 30 years of nothing.
But they were nothing. You couldn't give them away at garage sales.
No. I don't talk to my brother, but I almost want to email and be like, if you don't know, if you still have your full sets of Fleer and all these from literally when we were little kids in the late 70s, early 80s, my mom's mom, Fifi,
would 484. They're supposed to be typically more valuable. So I've got some after 84 that I still don't think they're worth much.
Yeah, Dallas had full sets, And then as players got hot,
Mhm.
he'd buy them even when he was in high school and college, and he'd go to the card shows and buy and sell and stuff. And he probably still has some. Yeah, right now might be the time you should like go through
Yeah,
and
you better let him know. There's
sell, because he's got like, I mean, like I said, he had complete sets of.
well, people are opening up packs now and from the 80s and 90s
Yeah,
and all that stuff. So
and they're making, no offense, they're making videos, and I'm like, what?
right,
Hey,
exactly.
to each their own. I mean, if it's exciting
Yeah.
for people, but I'm like, okay. I'm not gonna buy. If someone said they had a whole set, I might, but then I'm like, I have to go through that now and find the Robin Yount 1982. I don't, I'd like
Right.
that. Yeah, no, that'd take me too long.
That would take you, yeah, exactly. It'd take me too long to go through all the football and baseball cards I got too.
Yeah, I've got a couple of binders in my closet. I've got an Adrian Peterson signed rookie card.
Oh, that one, yeah. Yeah.
I caught his niece. Gosh, it's probably been 7, 8 years ago now. And I remember I had her in class, and she ran track and played all these sports and was like an amazing athlete. And I was like, dang, we were talking about track like she was all city. She goes, oh, yeah, it was like Christian track. I'm going to go see my cousin, Adrian Peterson. Like, he has a home in Houston, and all the cousins go, and he just hands out stacks of $100 bills. And I didn't really believe her. I'm like, well, if you see him, I'd love to have a rookie card. And she came back and she gave it to me. And then she showed me pictures of him, and then I was like, holy cow. And I haven't looked at it, but a couple of years ago, it was worth like $350. I don't know if it's gone up. I figured maybe it's gone up. The Hall of Fame, it might spike up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At least maybe when he retires. And did someone sign him? I know he got cut. Oh, the Lions. Didn't the Lions maybe?
Yeah, at the end there.
I think the Lions picked him up after the DC cut him. I almost said the name, and I was like, no, don't say that name.
the team formerly known as Prince.
Oh, I like that. The team formerly known as Prince, yeah.
It'd be a little sign.
Yeah. The Daniel Snyders. That's what they should just be, the DC Daniel Snyders.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
Motto is, we guarantee we're not going to win anything.
Right. I like him in the Cowboys division though. So.
Oh yeah, it helps. Yeah.
Yeah. We need. And the Giants lost Barkley with ACL. Killed my fantasy team. That was my first.
Man, I didn't play fantasy this year because of everything going on. I didn't think there was going to be this long of a season, to tell you the truth. But football back, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm happy to have it back. That's for sure.
The Cowboys play Seattle.
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
But I think their defensive line is banged up, so maybe Zeke can. Yeah,
that would be nice.
Whoever has the ball last maybe wins.
Well, yeah, that's usually what happens, right?
Yeah.
In a shootout, when you got two teams with a shootout.
Yeah. I mean, I'd go with them even without a crowd at home, and Russell Wilson is just unreal.
I'm surprised how much Raider fans there is still out here. Even them moving to Vegas didn't piss all the people off. They're just
they are a strong fan base. Very
they
strong.
are, and like I was saying in the chat, the 49ers stuff, you could go to the bins and people just throw it away. Well, even though they were good last year, it's just so much around. People just throw it in the bins.
Yeah.
And but the Raiders stuff, you never see any of the Raiders stuff in the bins.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You see it sometimes at Goodwill and stuff like that. I usually don't pick them up, but you do have a Raiders signed football that I picked up at Goodwill.
Huh.
It was on it. But,
see, I need the Patriots to be good because there's a thrift store not far from me. They must get all their stuff from Boston because I've been there like 3 or 4 times in the last like 6-7 months, and they have Red Sox, Patriots, Boston College,
really,
Celtics. It's the weirdest thing. Like I picked old Patriots logo tee. You know, it's like for a bar, and on the back it says Sunday Fun Day, and it's like an XL. But I wear it around because it's really soft and it has the cool old logo. But yeah, all this Boston gear.
All about it's.
I've seen Boston Marathon up there too. You know, didn't buy it. Didn't run the race, so I can't buy it. But you know, yeah, it's the weirdest deal. I'm like, okay, that means somewhere there's Dallas crack going, and somewhere,
right? Not here.
There's like Sacramento Kings, a whole store of Sacramento stuff, I guess.
Yep.
I don't know. I thought it was
What a terrible store.
Right, exactly right. Oh man, they're the worst.
That's terrible.
Well, they got hope. They got a new. Poor Vlade got let go, but they brought in. Joe Dumars is still there, and he's bringing in.
Yeah. But it's the same. It's the same story. You know, they get a couple of good players in the draft. They keep them a year or two. Trade them off. They don't keep them.
Yeah, it hurt when. Yeah.
And I was telling Clay, I went garage selling this morning. It was terrible. Terrible.
Was it?
Yeah, it's probably the worst. To go to at least 10 garage sales is probably the worst 10 garage sales I've ever been to. It was weird. I came out of there with one pair of shoes. I
think I want to go out tomorrow. There's a couple of signs already up in the neighborhood, so I think I'm going to go out tomorrow morning. I should charge up the GoPro and see what I can find, but the 8, because I'm not going to upgrade to the 9.
No, I didn't take mine today. It would have been a boring video anyway.
It would have been a boring video.
Or you just title it right, whether it's clickbaity or not. Super bust, you know, something like world's worst garage sailing day and fire and flames, or
right.
Tri Flippers Fridays are usually, to me, like oftentimes they're better than Saturdays.
I like now when I can't
the people that work full time can't get to them, so you have there's less competition.
Well,
there's tons of competition, but there's only a couple here that were on Friday today. So I didn't bother going out. So.
And the ones that I might go to tomorrow early before I see the kids are ones that are only on Saturday. Because like Brian and I, and you probably too, Scott, gone to ones that are 2-day ones, and you can't, or you just don't go till Saturday. But in my head, I'm like, well, it's going to be picked over. And not necessarily, but I just feel like better odds that it is, you know, or whatever. So I'm like, if just a Saturday one right near me or on the way north, I'll just hit that one and take what I get, you know.
Yeah, there's definitely advantage to doing all 3 days. You know, you Fridays you get first pick, Saturdays you got competition, but there's usually Sundays you get half price days usually, or good. So whatever's left. So
yeah, like I've told Brian, I met a lady I went to her. I've gone to 3 of her estate sales in the last like 6 weeks, but she prices it besides like the china and, you know, glassware and stuff. She prices that, and she even says like not 50.
Wait, is that the lady that we went to where we got the really cool stuff that she buys from auctions? The Asian lady with all the stuff in the backyard?
No. Oh no, I need to look and see if I haven't looked to see if she has. Tiffany, she used to be a reseller and did some other job, but she has a company, she and her husband, and so they price most things like a garage sale. And so it's like first day is whatever price, which is low. Second day is 50. Then if it's a third, it's 75. And she'll make deals. Like she's made deals with me because she knows I'm trying to like do this or whatever. And oops, sorry, I had to find it. I was trying not to hold it. And so right now she has one up in Denton, which you might know, Scott, but I'm like, I'm not going to go up that far. But she's like, I'm having one in Mesquite, which is like 20 minutes away. And I said, could I maybe come next week early because I've got the kids, you know, next week, the kids I'm helping. And she's like, could you help me? I need to price. I have like 150 books and I need to figure out which ones are worth $50 or more. And I was like,
Wow.
what are you looking on? Google, Terapeak, and just eBay? She's like, yeah. And I was like, I ain't come after I leave the kids at Monday or Tuesday. So I'm like, if she lets me just walk through this house of like, she's going to have like 500 pictures on some Facebook group or her Facebook. So I'm like, maybe I'll find a bunch of crap and she'll probably give it to me for a pretty good price. So
that's awesome.
So that's why I text her today. I'm trying to like work that. Like that's my main connection I have right now.
I saw when Chris put his morning Zoom meeting on YouTube the other day. I saw where it says work those local connections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's the way to do it. If you can get in there early or get that connection, that's pretty cool.
Because it could be I mean, it's helping me. It could eventually, like who knows what happens, but if there's something help me and Brian, like if she needed more help sort of thing, or or whoever. But and then there's another guy, he's having garage sales like 3 days a week, not far from me. And I talked to him briefly. I only had like 5 minutes one day. He somehow gets all these clothes and toys, and he just like sells them dirt cheap because he's like, I got to go in 10 minutes because I got to go get more crap. And he just opens his garage, and I bought like Masters is like, the company is like, what is it? Whatever, some term like, with the Masters golf for $2. Some other like Brooks Brothers sweater, $2. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm going to try to work that with him, give him a card. I probably can't make it tomorrow because he starts later than I need to leave my area. But if I could work that somehow, like, what if I guarantee I'll buy like X amount per week? Like, can I come before everybody, like the night before or at 6 a.m.? Something like that. Because I could get a lot of good clothes from him. That would help me keep my clothes. Then it's too intimidating to go to Goodwill and sit there and go up and down those aisles for clothes,
Right.
Yeah, the day before that video, like on that conference call, I wasn't on the one that he streamed. I had somewhere I had to be at 8, but he shared with us a flyer that he's created. It's really cool to post on like Craigslist, Nextdoor app. You could even pass it out in proper neighborhoods where it gets people that are looking to get rid of stuff to actually contact you.
Yeah.
That's what I want to work on this weekend, is to use his template, change it around to my information, and that's what all these calls are about. It's all about nuts and bolts of how to take your reselling game to the next level, man. It's so freaking amazing.
So could you turn that around when you go to garage sales? Say, hey, if you have any extra stuff here, I'm looking for this, and hand them the flyer or whatever.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of like, and I have business too, probably.
Yeah, but it's not exactly what you're looking for, because you're not looking for electronics or clothing, or except for shoes.
Well, I do peddle a bit in electronics. So yeah, electronics. It's mostly shoes, but yeah, I also do electronics.
Now, the other question I had for you is, I looked at the Nike clearance, and it's actually near Chris, down in the Bay Area.
Right.
So how does that exactly work? You could go in, it's cheaper, and you said discontinue. I saw your video.
Like I'd pick those up at a clearance center. I had them for a long time. It was the last.
Is it worth it to go?
Definitely. So what I was, the one near us, I don't know if it's temporarily closed or permanently closed. It's closed as of a couple of weeks ago. But what the normal outlets in the stores will send it to the clearance centers, I guess, when they're unloading inventory. And so they'll reduce the process even more. And then they have the back wall, like at a normal Nike outlet, where everything is an extra X% off. But then and the key to that is to, what I was doing when I was doing this quite a bit, I would go on Raise and get the Nike gift cards, like saving 7%.
Yeah.
I'm with my credit card, get an extra 2%. And then I would call every Thursday evening, because that's when the sales would start on Fridays. I'm like, hey, what y'all sell tomorrow? And I would wait for the 20% or 30% off the footwear. And if you, especially the 30% off, so you got 30% off of clearance, and you're saving another 9% gift card. And then I probably did this 7 or 8 times. I would load up the back of my Prius, probably dropping $1,500, $2,000, which was a lot for me at the time, but typically tripling, maybe a little bit more my money. And with them being new Nikes, the sell-through rate is faster than times the pre-owned stock. So yeah.
So you're saying the one in Hillsboro, right?
Yeah, when we came back from Austin.
That's right. You told me that, and maybe Angie and I saw that when we went to SeaWorld. Like she maybe even looked, or I looked on my phone, and someone else told me that too. Besides you, I feel like.
Probably relating to the pandemic. Now, will they eventually reopen? I hope, but that whole
they might just be
kind of dead. It used to be
yeah, that thing is dead. Yeah, so that means we don't have one. I don't know where the other one is.
There are outlets. There's one in Grand Prairie, and all the outlets, even the regular outlet, will have a back wall. But I don't know if I want, now that I'm full time, if I want to sink that much capital regularly into new inventory. I might cherry pick here and there. Little Ross RA, like eBay Pasha and Matt does. That's on that too.
The only thing that I found with Ross is the market's usually flooded with the shoes that are Ross, except for if you're going to buy 13, 12, 13, 14 size shoes. So
yeah, like
I do like checking it out.
I found some Nikes recently at Burlington, like a slip-on thing and some running shoes. One was 25, another's 35, and hopefully they'll sell soon. I have it on all 4 things, whatever. Cross-listed for like 80 something, but I wouldn't have bought them unless they were that cheap. Because I'm like, now, even though I thought I was going to get into that with like Brian and I talked like 6 weeks ago, now I'm like, I can't afford that, right now I'd rather just find miscellaneous kind of still and like used shoes, and used clothes.
To get the $8 pair that'll sell for 40 or 50.
Yeah.
Versus paying 40 for that might sell for 100.
And random crap, because hopefully Q4 might.
But I mean, there's a lot of people that do it full time, so I mean, it's viable. It's just a different game, and you want to get in and out of there pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you just gotta find which direction you want to go. Like you were showing jeans earlier and pants. If you want to do that, you can make a full-time living just off those. Full-time living.
Jacob does a lot of pants or jeans.
There's a guy named Matt, and he lives in Texas, and he's on the morning Patreon call, and that's all he does is pants.
Yeah, see,
you've said that.
He's paying like $1 to $3 on average is this cost of goods.
And is he doing thread up, or is he doing them finding them from a?
He's doing it just straight thrift stores. Last I heard was just thrift stores, and I've done that game a little bit too. Like those pants that I sold, one day I just did nothing but pants. I hit like 8 or 10 thrift stores, and I hit them on a sell day and stocked up. Now they do have a slower sell-through rate than other things.
Right. Yep.
I mean, if you're getting them at $1, $2, and sell them for 20 to 30, I mean, even if it takes 6 months, I mean, it's still you just have to do that in a volume game.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at doing the same sort of thing with jackets and stuff like that. So I've been trying to pick up more jackets, but
jackets right now are definitely
they're cheap right now, and they're going to start going up. So we will see. But
yeah, I think that's the thing. Like as resellers, you got to think a season or 2 ahead. Like if
I'm already thinking about Christmas stuff for Amazon. So that.
But you are.
So Halloween. I got my stuff ready for Halloween. But
you're gonna be ready to do some RA here pretty soon.
Yeah, exactly. Buy some more. I already got my grocery outlet guy.
Are you still using BrickSeek? Now that I'm full time, I could look on there now.
BrickSeek has been a little slow. I've been using Keepa. I don't know if I told you guys that before, but I've been strictly Keepa lately. And you just, for you guys, anyway, it's free. You could go on Keepa deals, and I pay for the $15-17 or whatever it is for the and everything because I'm selling them on Amazon. Go on Keepa deals, and it comes right to your house. It comes, so much easier.
Oh,
go into all the Walmarts and stuff like that because it's Amazon. So either a third party seller or Amazon sends it to you Prime, which doesn't mean anything now. Prime is like a week later. But yeah, you're getting stuff 50 to 60 to 70% off because
Okay.
and then if you click on the warehouse deals and click like new, like I do like new on Keepa. Usually it's brand new. It's like I got a wall trimmer because trimmers and beard, for the beard are really good. And it looked like it was used once, but clean. It's very clean. But that's the like new condition that I'm looking for cheaper. But you could go all the way down to acceptable and all that stuff. But yeah, deals on Amazon through Keepa, you can look on there for all the deals on there. It shows you like 18,000 deals today. So I have not been using BrickSeek as much because I've been using that more.
And that's why I guess number 1 and 2 were my top 2 topics, because Chris asked me that Monday. We talked like 10 or 15 minutes just Selma and I on the call, which I told him I was full time, and we talked about that and why I left and everything. And that was the question he asked me. So what does your full time schedule look like?
Right.
Like, well, that's what I got to figure out, and I've kind of tested it this week. But I think your schedule is going to reflect your model, and this is where I always struggle. Like, I see there's so many ways to make money, and it's like, like I'm trying to tighten it up into just a couple of niches, but
it pulls you right back in.
Right,
it's tough.
It is tough, but on Keepa, it cut, like I said, it's Amazon, so it comes right to your house. And you can put in there Nike. You can put in there.
I'm
whatever brand you want to put in there. If you just want to narrow the search down, if you're looking for sporting goods, you could do sporting goods. You could do grocery. You could do whatever category you want to do it in, and narrow your search down so you're only looking at a couple hundred things. And see what they even have an eBay button, which really sucks actually. Yeah, you should just type the title in yourself to search. But
well, I've got it to the point like my wholesale stuff is like my foundation, and it just comes to me, and I'm good at doing it. So like what I'm thinking is keep that rocking and rolling. I have like 2 different categories mostly that I focus on. And then add in, now that I'm full time, add in like a full time shoe listing, like between
the only thing I worry about you is your one category from wholesale that we've talked about. If it falls off, for some reason we don't need those anymore. That's only I've got 2 products. That's a very small SKU. Oh, okay, good. Okay, that's the only thing I was thinking when
the newer thing you're talking about.
Yeah, well, I'll just say it's just the face mask.
The mask. Okay.
Great ROI, but even the sales. Here's the thing: whenever there's good profit, the market gets flooded, and I've noticed my sales are slowing down. I still get them, but they're slowing down.
Now, what about the jewelry? I see jewelry is pretty hot, right?
Yeah, jewelry is my main thing. Fashion jewelry, that's my main thing. That's probably 60% of my sales. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of boring, but like I've got it down. Kind of like how you got Amazon. I know how to, whether it's Terapeak or I know how to research on Poshmark or however to find the trends of what's selling. And I've got supplier connections because I've purchased so much.
Right.
So that's my foundation, and I'm at the point where I'm growing that at a steady pace, but not too fast. Like I was thinking,
it's pretty much on autopilot now, right?
Yeah, I've got that down. And so like now I want to add the shoes in because there was a point in the past before the pandemic where my shoe sales were pretty much like almost a full-time salary by themselves. So I see people like Renzi and Chris and others that focus on shoes, and I want to make that my other thing to complement the wholesale, mostly the jewelry and a couple other things.
Just check out Keepa. It doesn't cost you anything. So
I wrote it on my hand.
There you go. But we're still doing the call on Monday, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll get the one where we're not held to 40 minutes because I like to go a little bit longer, so we could talk about how do we do this week versus our goals. And
right. Okay. So I'm gonna hop off here.
All right.
And, thanks, guys, for letting me
All right. Have a
come
good
on.
weekend, Scott.
Yep. We'll see you guys later.
Later.
Harry, Harry, are you saying Saturday is the best day? I'm assuming, Harry, you're saying that because the number of garage sales is the largest.
Yeah,
I assume that's what Harry means. I saw him.
Saturdays are the largest, but Fridays there's less competition.
Yeah, because when you and I went, we always took off.
I killed it on Fridays
to go together because we got to use the day off and go when there's less people, and there was still people there, but less.
I mean, ideally, like you go Friday and Saturday, you get the best of both worlds. Fridays less competition, Saturdays more volume, and then you're kind of getting both areas.
Yeah, that's why I'm like didn't look much this week because I don't want to get excited because I have stuff at home. I have a bunch of drafts. I have a bunch of stuff on Sellhound. I mean, that's easy to list. Like if I wanted to, I know it's not smart, but dump like 80 things on eBay in one day, I could dump 80 things and in a day or two cross list.
Wait, what? You could dump.
I have like 40 drafts on eBay, and that's some of the stuff I listed on Monday and Tuesday. I did like 10 one day and 11 another day. And then the internet wasn't good.
So wait, they're on Sellhound right now? Is that what you're saying?
So I have some on Sellhound as well. And then some on just eBay draft.
Oh, eBay draft. All right.
So I have combined a bunch. Like I listed some of the mugs you gave me, a couple mugs Angie gave me. I'm trying to kind of mix in what I'm like. When I did list Monday, Tuesday, there's like a mix. I listed like the new shoes that I told you all about because I'm like, oh crap, I got to get those up because that cost me real money. I need to get that back, whether it's $80 or $50 or whatever. But no, so I've listed like some of your mugs, some hats. I'm kind of mixing my stuff, Angie's, and yours. Yeah. But like I said, the internet was so bad a couple of days that and then I was so rattled that, I just didn't get it done. And at night, I just didn't care because I was so tired, or whatever.
Right.
But, yeah, that's why I didn't look at garage sales because I didn't want to get too excited. Like, oh,
I got excited today, and it was a horrible day. And in our area, we normally kill it.
Midlow is
it's probably an anomaly, but I'm also thinking about my model since I'm focusing on shoes. It's probably not I'll still probably do them, maybe a few hours on Fridays.
And do pick up the one-offs if it's a really good or something.
Yeah, that was my deal. Like if it was a one-off that was a slam dunk, like I'm not gonna pick up a $25 one-off, but I still kind of like electronics. So I looked up a couple, but sell-through rates weren't good. Or I was gonna buy some Panasonic phones, but they were missing the batteries, like the rechargeable battery. I was just like, I'm not reaching. Like, what did we always say? Put it back.
Yeah, put it back. Yeah,
I'm doing that on shoes too a lot more now. Like I'm being more selective on things.
Yeah,
because there's so much inventory out there. Like I don't think you need to like force it just to feel like you got something.
No, and I've still done that. I have some drafts that I'm like, why did I do that? And you're like, oh well, eventually it might be forever because I'm not gonna probably once I have it listed, it ain't coming down for me unless I like do the flea market next summer and I maybe I do that, take a bunch of crap out there, and like get cash because then you'll be like, crap, I just made a bunch of money.
Right.
Or, go to Danica's shop if she ever opens it up or she went to some flea market place and Louis did. Louis, is in Austin, but I need to ask him. He went to some flea market north of Austin a few weeks ago. And I think he's done it before and he always comes home like $400 to $700, $800. He'll take some pretty decent vintage hats, some t-shirts and just kind of whatever. And it sells.
Right. Well, I'm just thinking about like inventory management though. Like, I guess you have to keep record of like if you've got that listed online and then you sell it.
Like we talked about. Yeah. If we had done that, would we have taken it off or just taking it out there and written it down.
You know what I would do? Is I'd probably put the SKU number like on a piece of tape or like a sticker. So when it's sold, you could just get the SKU.
I feel like that. Yeah, that's what we were going to do when we were going to rent the space or whatever. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's an option. It's in the back of my mind. Just one that's a little safer and
for sure. Yeah.
I mean, right now for me, sales are going so great. Like I don't really need that, but
no, you don't.
But I think that's a good point to know all your different avenues and options.
Yeah. Yeah, because maybe eventually, like, we just do the rent the parking spot sort of thing, you know, and be like, you want to just make cash this weekend or, you know.
And here's the other thing. Here's the other tip. If you're going to the bins, go early. Like I got there at like 2, and that one dude, he had like 2 or 3 carts. And like you could tell he'd probably been there all day. And they were filled. Like he was throwing back the ones he couldn't find matches.
Yeah.
And I did the rounds anyway because I'm always like, people miss things. But this guy was thorough. And there was nothing worth me purchasing. So I wasted like an hour.
Yeah, the time I went at, I feel like by 9:30, and I got 1 pair that day.
Yeah, I think you got to go when it opens.
Yeah, and I mean, that day ended up okay because I bought like a few other things at Goodwill's that have sold. Oh, like a pair of boots. I paid $12 and they sold for like $48. You know, I have like a book that I bought for like $2 at a Goodwill, and it's actually signed, some like Vietnam thing. So it eventually will sell for probably like $40 to $60. So I'm like, I did kind of have to find other miscellaneous, but when I left there that day, I'm like, what the F? Like, I feel like, yeah, you got, and that was just a bad day too, like your day today. Like maybe that's what I should do Sunday instead of.
Here's the other thing. What if I would have spent 3 hours on my auction sites? Like if I wanted to do something with shoes, like I've been very successful with that. I could have spent 3 hours, and I guarantee you, I would have found some things.
Maybe shoes, even lots of shoes.
Pretty rare on the shoes, but like the one-offs, like that. Yeah. Hey Val.
Hi Valley Face.
Like today, I sold that old IQ briefcase test kit for $170, and I paid for it. Yeah. And that was an online auction. Now it took. I bought it during the summer. June, July.
That's not bad.
It's less than 3 months.
Heck yeah.
I got $170 for it. So
that's awesome.
And maybe instead of doing garage sales, maybe I give myself X amount of hours per week, but I cherry pick instead of like I was kind of reaching this summer. Like I was buying so much.
Yeah. You end up
just maybe cherry picking things like that.
Because you can do all the research.
Yeah, and then you learn about those categories because you're researching it while you're looking online. Hey Val, if you want to jump on here.
Calorie.
I can't pressure her because she told me on her show that
you can't.
Yeah, I can't pressure. If you want to, no pressure.
See, like maybe Sunday, like I told you, if I go, I need to be at the bins Sunday morning when it opens.
Yeah.
And I could spend several hours. I just, every time they bring out a new thing, just kind of keep circulating, or just go for the first, if it's solo, you just go as quick as you can, grab every freaking thing you can, and then, just stay for however long it takes to do a solo run and come home and start listing them. But I figure, like we talked about, that'll be, if all I do is work through next Friday, come like 10 days from now, maybe it's not that Monday, that's your pack day, but like Wednesday of that week, we go to the bins early and we do our normal,
get our 2 carts,
and we do a draft.
The tag team with 2 carts.
Yeah.
You start on one, I start on the other. We sort, and then we just split it at the end once we check out.
And then we go to this Goodwill's if we want, like we did.
Yeah, then we hit the other.
We either kind of just add that to the draft pile or individual, whatever. Yeah. I mean, because, I also thought maybe you realize this, since there is a Goodwill, like right here in Ross and Greenville, like right behind where I'm at, I was like, so when I have my big like sourcing days, or let's say I end up, or I just go to your house to work, I need to go to this Goodwill on my way home every time so I can write off the miles from Waxahachie to Dallas, or from Plano to Dallas, because this is my apartment's like 2 miles from here. So if I can write off everything but the last 2 miles, okay.
I have now the one thing, man, my write-off this week, my mileage are off the charts. Like,
Yeah.
Post office is a write-off, but like today it was like $30-something of write-offs because I logged all those miles. And the day I drove to Fort Worth, and I hit all those thrift stores on the way to Fort Worth.
Yeah.
It was a big day. So that's also lowering your tax expense, even though you don't see the money right away. It's benefiting you.
See, yeah. So I do need to hit some on the way to Allen, and there's one in Allen, relatively near Carissa.
Even if you just did that one,
just to be able to legitimately get out of the car, walk around, so that the app recognizes, not that you're going to get audited, but so, because sometimes I've noticed on MyLikeQ, I can go from like where I'm helping those kids, drive to the post office the one I'll walk to I walk inside, but I'm only out of my car like, a minute? And I get in my car and then I drive somewhere else, and it doesn't recognize it as ending there. If I went on their website, I think I've read there's a way to like chop it up, but I'm just like, or sometimes I'm just like, nope, I mailed that damn thing. And so I ended up like at home, I'm counting it because it didn't recognize that I was out for however long you have to be out.
Yeah, that's how Stride does it. They give you a blue bar, like I'm done driving when you're done. Like,
okay. Oh, like Uber in a sense. Like,
they used to do that. They were doing the automatic one, but they must have got a lot of complaints because it was logging me out.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
It was just like one stop on many, and so they switched it. And I'm like you, like every once in a while I forget to log out. I'm like, screw it, I'll still end it. I'm like, hey, it's a wash, because sometimes I forget to turn it on. I'm like, in the big picture, it probably evens out anyway.
See, yeah, and like mine now knows, like if I go to Angie's, which a few times a week at least, it's auto classified. It knows that address. It knows, I think, Dad's. It knew where school was. Like it now knows, like you. Some of them I still will like auto, but I need to let it auto classify more, especially the personal, so you don't just have to even, swipe. But it knows like that post office out on 30. Oh, when I went to that post office last Thursday, I hopped on with Alton and whoever up, maybe Marcus or something. Yeah. And the show ended. And I'm like, wow, crap, I forgot to mail something. So I drove out there at like 9:30 because I had to mail it that
10,
day.
Right? 10 o'clock? Huh? They're open till 10, I think,
10,
right?
Yeah. But the lady at the counter, she sells online too. So we talked for like 5 or 10 minutes. She's like, yeah, anything that we get after 8 o'clock is tomorrow. So I did my part.
Unless they scan it in right there.
Yeah. And I put it on the end of the counter. Someone else came and got it, and she joined our conversation. But I mean, I don't think I got it.
Good to know then. Like if it's an eBay order, I would want it to be scanned in then.
Yeah. And then maybe they did. I didn't get a complaint, whatever it was. Right. But now it just makes me be like, well, and I think a lot of people are like me first. They're like, they're just normal people, they're just buying for themselves. They're like, it'll get here when it gets here. I paid. It's a first world purchase type deal. Like I bought shoes. I didn't pay overnight. So, and with Corona,
Speaking of while I was on the show, I got an email. I got a message from eBay, and somebody opened a request. And so while y'all were talking, I opened it up on another tab, and the buyer was a request that they hadn't received their item. So I looked up the tracking, and it shows delivered September 21st. Huh. So I plugged in the tracking. I mean, as long as the show's delivered, seller, we're good. Like I just have to provide them that tracking information. But I hate whenever I see a buyer open the upside. I was like, oh no, they haven't even contacted me. What's going on?
Yeah. See, I have a case that was opened because the lady bought a tea tumbler thing or whatever that Angie gave me. And she wrote and said, it doesn't look like my boyfriend's wear. That's like laser engraved. And I told Angie, and Angie's like at one of her conferences with her last drug company, right? A small one that still made like $1 billion last year. She's like, her prize money, she got X amount, and so not like real money, but to spend on stuff. So she got this thing, didn't use it, gave it to me. So she's like, No, it's a legit, like, that company is not going to probably buy knockoff, probably. So this lady's, and I just said, that's fine. Just pack it up nicely, please, and send it back. When I get it back, I'll refund you, of course. But then it said like case closed, and I didn't really think about it. But then I messaged and said, it's on its way? Do you have a tracking number? But I'm pretty sure they closed. I'm on my phone, so I can't open a tab. But I'll call you this weekend after I look into it again, because now I'm like, well, did she? And I can't remember if she got refunded.
Maybe she canceled the case.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe she was like, didn't want to have to pack it up nicely.
Some people know that if they do that a lot of people just issue refunds and tell them to keep it. So maybe she was fishing for that, and when she saw that you wanted it returned, she changed your mind.
Val, you can come on with your no pressure, but your a picture. Oh, Val, if you could come on with that filter, that would be the greatest thing ever. Brian, she did this Instagram.
Yeah, I saw it.
Was it not genius? Like I couldn't like.
It kind of freaked me out, to be honest.
It totally freaks me out when she does that, or when you do this one, Val, we're like this, where you do the lip up, and I'm like, that's our Val? Like, it's because I'm like, you're like, and because in my head I bought into that. I'm Val, I'm shy, and I'm like, shy people don't do all these funny videos and pictures,
Yeah, that's the one you were ranting about.
The
Poshmark.
Yeah, I need to. You should. Well, yeah, you could log in. I'd be like, however many people are watching, show it to them. It's so great.
Can you hear me?
When we get done, I have to watch it again.
Yeah, volume's low, but we can hear you.
Okay. I'm not sure which microphone I'm hooked up to. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're better now. Yeah. How's it going?
I'm tired.
Me too.
Friday's my busy day. Garage sailing in the morning, and then I take my mom to the grocery store.
Nice little mom time. Hope your grocery. I hope your garage sales were better than mine. How were yours?
They were okay.
Cool. Mine sucked. Straight up.
Shape-ups.
Fair what? Shape ups?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
$1.
You check the bottom, because sometimes
I never knew to look for that. Like, I knew in dance goes to like bend them, but I didn't know to look in shape ups.
For what? To make sure they're not like separated?
Yeah, they'll dry rot. A lot of times the bottom of those shape ups.
Oh yeah, okay. That's what I thought you had said, or Val or someone. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I screwed up. Like, I went thrifting Wednesday, and I was trying to be more careful, but I picked up like one of the Goodwills had like a couple pair of Nike shocks. And I picked them up, and I got home and cleaned them up. And one of them, I noticed where those shocks connect, it was loose. So I just had to write it off as damaged inventory and trashed it. But
yeah,
I mean, it's like no matter how careful you are, sometimes they just slip through the cracks. You'll get a pair or something that comes through that you didn't catch.
Well, my last trip to the bins, I found a shape up. It was brand new with tags, and I was carrying it around looking for the other match. And I put it in my little basket thing that I take with me, and I forgot that I put it in there. So I purchased one shape up.
Well, I've heard that you can sell. I mean, the sell-through rate's slower, but you
Never again will I sell a single shoe. The amount of trolls I got in my Poshmark closet over my one Rothy. Never again.
Yeah, I tend not to either. But I've heard they will. It may take a long time, but just think about it. If you need one shoe, that means one of your shoes is damaged. And you're looking for the right size, the right colorway, the right style number. And most people just, if like one of my shoes are damaged, I'm just getting rid of them.
Yeah.
So that little shoe sold for $28. But the amount of trolls that came with it was not
worth it. No, I bet. Tired, Clay?
Huh?
Tired?
Yeah.
So what's on?
I kind of fell asleep before your show started because I just didn't want to go home, and I was trying to decide what to do, and I was like kind of just nodding off, or whatever. I got to go to that. But the deal is, I'm like, there's nothing on TV tonight. I mean, sure, there's stars, but I'm not invested. So I'm like, I need to be in bed at like by 10, because I think the earlier I go, better odds the cat's feeling better. So I think better odds she'll sleep longer, at least based on this week. She did wake me up last night once or twice, but I grabbed her once, put her in bed next to me, like on my chest, kind of pet her half asleep till she walked away. But like, yeah. And this weekend I should nap too. If I'm that tired, just nap.
Yeah.
For
sure. I know, I'm pretty tired too. What do you have written on your hand? I see clay.
I need to still figure out. I never have made like a list. Sale days at Goodwill and Thrift Giant. Like what colors. I know, but no one's watching.
We have a big audience, but
I know. I normally when Scott said one of your wholesale things, I was like, in my head, I was doing this, going,
No, that one I didn't care about.
Well, no, but then when he mentioned your main category, even I was like,
I mean, the category I don't mind because there's a skill level to.
There is, but I don't even say that. I won't say it for you because I'm like, And then I got to call the vet to get more needles for the IV and nausea pills for her that help her make her eat. And then I wrote keepadeals.com that Scott told us about. So no pizza box, Val. So I had to write on my hand, Yeah.
That's fine. All right, Val, question. What is the one item from the grocery store that you can't live without that you bought?
Heavy cream.
Heavy cream. What do you use heavy cream with? Make it dessert?
No, I put it in my tea.
Oh.
That sounds very British.
Like a Thai tea kind of thing?
No, just like a black tea. Hot black tea. I put some heavy cream and some cashew milk in it.
Okay. No, I could maybe see that. Maybe I need to try that. It makes it richer, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And pickles. Cool. Had to pick up more pickles.
Spicy pickles. Pickle beer?
No, I still have 5 more of them that need to get drunk. I was saying that I have it. I don't want to drink it, but it's all I have. It's my emergency.
That sounds terrible. Pickle beer.
It tastes literally like pickles.
I had a couple of these earlier.
What?
I've always wanted to try one, but
I have a friend.
They're good.
My buddy Josh should be a spokesman. When they first hit the market, like what, a year and a half ago or 2, or when it really blew up. Oh my God, Josh was like,
they're good. It's like very carbonated and crisp, but like this one is black cherry. It's got that little fruit flavor and it's light. It's not heavy. I mean, I love beer. Don't get me wrong, but that's good too in a light way. I needed it. It's been a long day. Speaking of like wholesale, like one of my supplier, he sent this giant order of merchandise that I ordered. It took a while, and I was so excited for it to get here in this big box. And like I ordered a lot of different sizes and a lot of different styles of this product. And normally they're all bubble wrapped and separated. They come in, they were just a hot mess. Like everything was loose. A lot of them didn't have the sizes on it. I emailed him like, dude, like, because they always say, what do they say? Dear friend. I'm like, dearest friend, what the hell? It's gonna take me hours to sort through this. I'm gonna have to size these with my ring sizer, and it's just like
that's a pain in the ass. Yeah,
so that's what I'm gonna be doing tomorrow. I normally, since I've gone full time, like Val, I try not to work on the weekends, and I haven't, but I probably will have to work a few hours tomorrow to get that done, and then. Because I want to go thrifting Monday, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna do a full day, like an 10 hour day of thrifting. See how many thrift stores I can hit, and see if I can get all my inventory for the week in one day. But Mondays are my heavy day for shipping too.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I'm gonna have to either ship that Sunday night or get up super early. Golly, probably like 3 a.m. on Monday.
Do you have it? Not that you want to, but do you have a TV you can put in the garage and while you watch the Cowboys
Well, I usually have a tab open where I'm watching YouTube. Like right now, I'm binging Pure Hustle podcast. Like I'd quit watching them like during the pandemic because I used to listen to them on Spotify when I was driving, and so I'm like all these episodes behind.
Yeah.
And so I'm binging. And once I get caught up, I'm gonna catch up on all my others, but mostly YouTube. But yeah, I can.
I don't know. I just thought like if
Oh,
that's
during the
like
Cowboy game. Yeah, I've got the Cowboy game. I can't work during the Cowboy game.
okay, just because I'm thinking like if you're trying to do family the rest of Sunday, Claudia probably wouldn't care necessarily if you were like, I'm going to pack and use the Cowboy game time. So that's 3 hours. And even if she watches, she might be fine. Go pack, you know?
Well, no, and I talked to her. She called. She's at Emma's volleyball. Well, she's cheering for a volleyball game, and I was like, "Hey, I know I normally don't work on the weekend, but I might have to work some tomorrow because I'm behind." She's cool with it.
Yeah.
It's communication. Like I've learned, as long as you communicate and talk, it's usually okay.
Yeah, I need to tell my employee or I need to tell my boss I need to work this weekend so that they know.
Isn't that such a good feeling? We're
It
all.
is. I mean, yeah, like tomorrow I'll work some. I'll garage sale after I see the kids. Mom bought some stuff from a online estate sale, one that she did like a few months ago or 2 months ago or something like that. She bought like a picture that she hung on the wall, like these people in Highland Park that like this lady had just crazy money, you know. So mom bought some like jewelry really cheap that she was like, I didn't think I'd like this like giant ring. And she's like, but it's kind of cool. And she says she bought some things for me that she's like, you know, and I trust her. She's like, I got it cheap. I know it'll sell. You know, I'm like, okay, sure. And she's like, this is an investment in you. You can't pay me back. I'm your mother. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Tell me if I'm wrong, and I'm just throwing this out there. This is what I sense because I've done this to you too, so I'm guilty as charged. Your mom, me, Angie, like everybody is like providing you with inventory, and it may not necessarily be what you want to sell, but you feel obligated to.
Oh, I'll take, yeah, I mean, kind of, but I'll take it because like it'll all sell at some point. And like, you know, and right now I'm still until I get in the overseas game and stuff, you know, like and get more shoes starting in hopefully in like 10 days, you know, and clothes. Maybe I can learn more about like I'm curious, like Jacob, Bruce.
Well,
I mean, whatever.
All you gotta watch is Val's videos. You can get your clothes game up real quick.
Yeah. But if I can learn more clothes and shoes and still, I'll probably still for a few months do miscellaneous, especially garage sales, I guess. Or if that lady, if I can keep getting a good hookup with her, you know, or whatever. I mean, because all the garage sales I've gone to her, but yeah, I know, mom, I've told her, I was like, don't just buy, and I'm going to show her how to research. You know, she's like, oh, yeah, that'd be helpful. I'm like, yeah, it would. So, but I trust her because mom does have good taste. We lived over there. She knows what people over there will spend on just crap, you know, too. So,
Right.
you know, and if she's trying to help me and just giving it to me, whereas like I evened up with Angie the other day. She's never asked, but she's like, can you just total up what has sold? And we figured out like when I last gave her money, which was like March or something, you know, I was like, oh yeah, that monitor I sold to the guy in the running group for cash. And so I got caught up and I probably even gave her, I guess in a sense, I got ahead for the next go around.
Clay, you better pay up because she reached out to me and she said, I'm her muscle. Like if you don't pay up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And she said, if you don't pay up.
Yeah. So I'm caught up with her and even ahead probably. The math I did, I was very generous, but she's helped me so much. And she keeps finding crap at her house. That's the thing, you know, that like she's just bought or that like was in that house from her grandma, you know what I mean? Or things, or her company just keeps giving. Now she works for Pfizer, you know, and not that Pfizer's giving her anything, but you know what I mean? It's like, I'm sure she'll just keep giving me stuff. And I sold like this year, like I guess 40 out of, I don't know. I'd have to count how many, but a lot of items of her.
I had to mute. I had to mute
You
him.
muted him.
He did.
I didn't mean mute him, but I have maybe something that might work for you, Clay, for learning brands. Ask your mom and Angie if you can just go through their closets and look at their stuff, especially Angie. I bet she has nice clothes, and I bet she knows what styles are like
she
really hot
does
right now. So just ask her if you can go through them. And even ask her, like, well, why did you pick these items?
Well, she gave me, I won't say, but some hints that I'll message y'all. She just was like, told me about this brand that sells for like tons, like a hoodie at super high end stores. And then she's like, this is why. And I liked it because there was certain things like, ooh, that's super cool, but I can go get that made or go to Walmart and find something similar. So I told her, I was like, oh, I'm going to look, like for wholesale of certain things like that, and I'll message you to be like, because she does keep up with that. Not like she's sitting there reading fashion stuff, but she is fashionable. Like her work clothes are nice, but it has to be. She's a drug rep for Pfizer now and stuff. But she goes to Marshall's too. And she gets the stuff that ends up at Marshall's that, was at Nordstrom's or wherever and gets it cheap. And some of it she then just gives to me with the tag on it still. She's like, I'm not going to,
I will tell you, like I told Clay this, like I bought a lot of auction stuff. Like sometimes I'll buy a big lot from these online auction sites. So I see one item that I know will sell for good money, and the rest of it just comes with it. So I have 2 tables that were filled with this stuff, and I gave some to Clay, and I like see if you can resell this if you want. And then and he didn't want any more, so I guess I didn't get very good stuff. And so
I just have more still.
So I was going through some more of it the other day, like when I caught up, and I donated like 3 big trash bags full to the donation bin, and I cleared off a whole table. So now I've only got 1 table of auction stuff, and now some of it's worth some money. I know.
Yeah.
Like I got old Bible hymnals that I looked up that I need to list that are worth money. But I think like having your desk pile gone, like there's a psychological benefit to that.
Yeah.
A clear space to bring a new inventory. And
yeah, I got to get towards that again. Val, how are you doing on those 50 pounds of clothes?
Perfect.
You're working through?
I would say half of it's processed already and listed. Some of it's sold.
Nice.
The other half's in my camera, measured and ready to be listed.
Nice.
And then I only have to wash maybe 10 things, but they're like more delicate, so I might have to hand wash them.
Okay. You're plowing through.
I am. I've been doing good listing. I'm impressed with myself. I'm shocking myself.
So this question's for you, Val, because I talked about this early. Like reselling schedule and routines. Like as we talk about atomic habits and schedules and habits and routines. Like I'm trying. Like Chris Daily Refinement asked me, like, what does my schedule look like as a full-time reseller? And I told him that's what I'm trying to figure out over the next couple of weeks. And I know you have your whiteboard that you kind of wrote some things on. I've seen that, but like, what does your typical day or week look like? Like what does that look like from the time you get up to you shut down reselling? I'm just curious.
Like that needs to be redone. It was a nice idea, but after I started doing it for a few days, like my day would start at like 7 a.m. and to get everything on my board done, I wouldn't be done until like 9 o'clock or later. So it was not working. So I figured out that for my photographing and listing, they can't happen on the same day. I just don't have enough time. Is that for me? Does that sound me? Can you hear it or no?
I just started. My air conditioning's going. I turned my car back on.
Maybe that's it. I wasn't sure if it was coming from me.
It's going like really strong.
Yeah.
Wake up. First thing I do is share my closet. That takes a while. After that, I do offers to likers. list if I have it in there. If I have stuff to list, I'll sit and I'll list for half of my day. Takes me a while to list. I'm pretty slow for some reason. Well, no, I know the reason. And when it's bread and butter stuff, I can list super, super fast, get it done. But I like to pick up the one-offs and the vintage stuff, and finding comps on that stuff is just a pain in the butt. Which maybe if I didn't comp as much, but I'm always worried I'm going to be missing out.
Yeah, I think it's smart to comp.
Yeah.
So offers to likers, do you do that once a day in the mornings? Is that pretty much what you do?
Well, I do it in the mornings because I stop sending offers to likers probably maybe 5 o'clock, 5:30. Whenever Chad gets home, I kind of start winding my day down.
Okay.
So after that, I stop sending offers to likers. So when I wake up in the morning, it takes me about maybe 10 or so minutes to send offers to likers, answer any questions, list, ship, inventory. Like my inventory space, I'm coming to a place of I need to stop listing for the sake of my inventory shed. I'm at full capacity. I pulled it out. Let me see. So right now it shows that I have 564 available listings and I have enough room for about 500. So there's about 64 items in my shed that are just sort of sitting there right in the way. And I don't know how to upgrade it.
So you're
my friend, what's her name? Louise, it's all new again or something like that on YouTube. She did a video where she shows her inventory and she uses the big IKEA bags, like the zip ones. And she can fit a lot more of them on a shelf.
Oh yeah, I've seen someone do that.
Yeah, so right now I can do 2 of the plastic totes, and then on the seam of the shelves, I can fit 1 in the middle. So essentially it's 2.5 totes per shelf. Whereas I think if I upgrade to the IKEA bags, I can get 4 of those on a shelf. And they both hold the same amount, 35 items. So my goal is to try and make comfortable room so I'm not struggling every time I go to pull an item. I want to comfortably be able to store a minimum of 1,000, maximum 1,500 clothing items.
Yeah.
But like,
so once you max out your storage space, I mean, basically, like I'm having to start thinking about this too. I've got room for maybe 2 more shelves in my garage, and like for me, like I don't want to stop, so I probably will get another storage unit at that point. But I think that's a decision we have to make. It's like, do you get more space at whatever cost it may be, or do you have room for more inventory, or do you just become more selective in the inventory you get and kind of push up your ASP and try to run a leaner store with higher sales?
Like I've already decided to slow down on shoes. Like if I can't make $30 or more on a pair of shoes, I don't think I'm going to pick them up anymore because they're just too big to store.
Right.
Like, how do you store your shoes? Because my shoe storage sucks completely.
Well, all right. Well, ideally, like I do the totes too. Like ideally, those are only 2/3 of the way filled up, because when you sell a pair, like if it's filled all the way up, then you got to pull it out. But at the same time, we were talking about this on Chris's Patreon call. But at the same time, if you don't fill it up, then you're wasting inventory space. So I typically fill mine up, and I just try to stack them, like the sturdier ones on the bottom, and put them where the delicate ones don't get crushed. But I was put them in a plastic bag and put them in there. Now they're just kind of loose. Like when I store shoes, like if they're athletic shoes, I bought a laundry bag, like a big, large laundry bag, and I can fit like 6, 7, 8 pair in there. I'll put them in there in the washer on gentle cycle, cold water, slow tumble, and I'll wash them. And then they'll come out, let them dry overnight, do any touch up I need to, and then list them the next day. On leather shoes, I'll do the conditioning and stuff and get those ready for the next day. And once I list them, I put them in the plastic bins. I know Clay, well, I don't know where he went, but I know Clay does the big shoe wall, which is kind of cool. I've seen that on a couple of people that have done that, but I don't know. Like if you do that, you can really only do it against the wall. And like I have just too much inventory to do that.
I want to
And
see Clay do a shake test. I want to see how sturdy that thing is.
right. Did you hear that, Clay?
Sorry.
We want
No.
to next time that you're at your apartment, we want to see a shake test of your shake.
A what test?
Shake your shoebox wall. Is it like really sturdy or no?
That
would be my only
I mean,
fear.
I'm not going to shake it a ton because it does it's not flush because there's a window behind it. So like there's the windowsill and stuff. And I did try to kind of, because when I built it, I would get like 4 boxes or I get 2, tape those together. I get 2 more. Then I'd make groups of 4. Then I got, 4 groups of 4. And then I started going up. And I did nail some of it to the wall, like to the side wall and the back, and at the top, some zip ties, kind of. But it does lean. Both of them lean, or whatever. Even though the big one, I took apart a plastic shelf and made it as a base, and then put shoe boxes underneath it,
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't shake it a ton. I mean, like, I don't think it's just going to come down. I'd have to like fall into it, but. Yeah, sorry I had to go away because I saw that I had a text from one of the moms, and I guess the paranoia of like, oh God, did I do something? And all it was she said, I sent payment. Have a good weekend. So I've gotten paid by 3 of the moms now. So, and the other one will. She's already talked about it. So yeah, so now my PayPal, and I can move that to my bank. Hey, today's a good day. I just made $1,800. So
Yeah, that's a good day.
Or almost. One had already paid $225. So yeah. I can pay rent and not charge it next month, and maybe pay down a little on debt.
So, all right, I want to hear Val's thought on this because Clay and I, we talk a lot about this, and I've told Clay, and I know it's like, and I loved your quote like on my full-time video, Val, the anchor message you said. I forget exactly what you said, but how a safe job is like an anchor, but it kind of prevents you from achieving what you want, something like that. And I know like Clay, that the tutoring and stuff, or the teaching, I don't know what you want to classify it, is that safety, and I get that because it was hard to leave teaching because that's safe money. But I do think like, and you're doing this, so if you were to work 40 hours a week reselling, and if you have a schedule, kind of like what you're doing, Val, I don't know. I don't know exactly how many hours a week you work, but do you think someone could produce a full-time income off of full-time reselling?
I think so. I mean, I feel like I do pretty decent, and I never finished. So I got distracted with myself. My day is literally wake up, share, offers to likers, package, and then the rest of my day is either listing, or the rest of my day is either in my bedroom photographing. So then the next day will be all day listing. That's pretty much how it goes. But I think if you're doing consistent work, like this month, trying to meet my goal, I've been consistently listing and it's been showing. I've been meeting my goals pretty regularly. I'm hoping. I haven't added up any numbers yet because I don't want to either disappoint myself. I'm afraid to disappoint myself. So I won't add up my numbers until the end of the month. But I think I'm going to meet my goals. And I think if you're selling on more than one platform, then you will exceed your goals, which I should be telling myself that, but
yeah, we gotta get you cross listing. I think that's the next step. We gotta get you one new platform to ease you onto.
Yeah, however I can help, I'll help. Like if there's a way to like virtually help you somehow, because like when I got on Posh back in May, when we were really getting to know you, and then I hired the VA, and the other thing y'all saw me just write down, and I'll mention it again, closet tools, because I've got to sign up for that now because my more expensive VA ran out. But once I joined Posh, sorry, I thought that was one you've talked about. No,
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Okay, well, whatever. But once I got my VA Val and joined Posh,
I do have tools in my closet. I have my shoe brush. I have my conditioner. Yes, those are the tools in my closet. Is that what you're talking about?
Okay. Yeah. Your closet.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But once I joined Posh, my sales, like I've sold a ton on, because I can't sell that much clothes and shoes on eBay. I mean, I could, but it'd take a lot longer, but yeah,
Val raised her
you
hand.
could just copy it over to eBay, even if it's manual,
Oh, my voice. Sorry, 1 sec.
or Facebook. Maybe that's easier. I don't know. Or Macari.
My voice keeps going out. Actually, my next kind of platform, I think I'm going to see if, what's her name? Her name's Mel, Castlevania Resellers. Her and Rebecca do auctions.
The rehomer, yeah.
Think, no, not her channel, I don't think.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know how our personalities would go together. But I think I might start trying to do auctions.
Oh, you said that, yeah, a month or two ago, yeah.
Like through YouTube?
Yeah. But like with these ladies, like I feel comfortable enough to actually jump in and do it. I think our personalities are close enough to where I'll be comfortable doing it. And they do pirate ship. That was another thing. There was other people that I was considering, but they don't believe in pirate ship, and I didn't want to be like the little Diablo girl doing pirate ship.
Like, I've never heard anyone else that doesn't like pirate ship. That's so weird.
That's why I was surprised. It was that person I was telling you about where I kept getting ripped off with shipping.
And they don't like it because they can't rip you off. That's why they don't like it. It's just simple. Yeah, Clay and I talked about when we were doing storage units more. Like, well, a lot of the storage unit people do auctions because you just get so much merchandise.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. If you guys were going to be doing storage units just to like get rid of the things that aren't necessarily worth listing.
So you figure out the auctions, and once you figure it out, you can help us teach us how to do it. We'll do one, at least one, just for the heck of it.
Like I find a lot of cool stuff at my bins. I mean, the clothing, most of that'll go in my closet, but like in the non-clothing stuff, like I find really cool vintage stuff that's worth money, and I buy it because I can't stand to see that end up in a landfill. So I pick it up, but I'm like, well, what the crap am I going to do with it? I don't list anywhere that's
eBay.
If I come to Colorado, I'm just gonna wipe her out, Brian, of all that crap, whatever. I'll pick up my box, I'll go to all the bins up there, and I'll just take all the other crap that she has,
Let me
and be like, okay, if you're not listing it, I will.
I'm surprised you didn't go to the bins when you were down here. Like the people that shop at my bins are all looking for very specific stuff, and like everything else is up for grabs. It's just crazy.
Let me show you an example of something I sold today. This was from an online auction. The value of hard goods. God, I got too many tabs, don't I? Like always. Oh, here we go. Okay. View. So this sold today, and this was from an online. I paid $22.95 with tax. This is a vintage IQ test. From the 50s to 70s, and it's really cool. It's like this suitcase, and inside it you've got all these different tests that they would use, and these charts and papers to test IQ. And this sold for $169.98. Shipped it out today. I paid $23. It cost me $14 to ship it. eBay fees were $19. So I made $114, and I bought this summer on a online auction site. And some of the bigger sales I've had are from these hard goods. Now, I know you could sell clothing and jackets and shoes for big money too, but there's definitely some money in the hard goods. And oh dang, police are coming for you, Clay.
Ambulance, yeah.
So I don't know what my point was. Oh, because you were talking about hard goods not being destroyed. Yeah, like and something like that. eBay is perfect for that because eBay is for those type of items. Like clothing and shoes, you can sell on eBay or Poshmark or Mercari or Facebook Marketplace. But like your rare, unique items, like you really want to get those on eBay.
Yeah, this last.
Yeah, because I do. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the last time we went to the bins, I didn't even go to the clothing. I have a bunch of stuff I need to process. I just wanted to look in what was in the other bins, and I ended up getting 55 pounds again. And they had a bin that was full of like plates and dishware, which they've never had before. I'm surprised they had it. I don't trust the people at my bins not to break it. But I ended up getting, I think it was like 17 pounds of just like really good like coffee cups and stuff. Like, you know, those they look like clay designs, but it was for national parks. Like somebody had a collection of national park, like really big, nice mugs. And my mind was blown. Perfect condition.
Yeah.
We don't get that.
Yeah, I've done, like, you'll find that stuff in the online auctions, like mugs, plates, dishes.
Nurse Flipper, that's all she does is auctions. Basic, mostly.
I mean, that's all I did this summer, and it carried.
And she's killing it, like you, Brian. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have Brian's like base stuff. So for Kat, it is her base is auctions right now. I think, you know.
Yeah, you can make it full time just on auctions for sure. It is a little tougher. Like when you're doing all these different items, it's a little harder to package and to store.
Yeah, but,
I mean, that's a minor thing, really. If you got the storage for it, it's not that big a deal. And some of that stuff, like I got the request that just came in. Like I sold a set of vintage coasters. It wasn't crazy money. I think it was like $20, but they were in a lot of an auction that I bought this summer, and I paid probably 10, 20 cents for them. They sold for 20. So you kind of be surprised, like the vintage older stuff that's unique. There are buyers out there. It may just take a little bit longer to find, to find the buyers, but they will. They're out there.
Yeah. That's why, I like finding anything that like at a garage sale, like an old looking doll. It doesn't have to be super old, like 1950s or 60s. I sold one recently I got for $5, and within like 10 days it sold for, I'm guesstimating, I don't remember, like 35 or 40. You know, I mean, I looked it up before I bought it, and I'm like, okay, that'll sell. You know, I think I have like a Ken doll and this sweet like velour looking jumpsuit, you know, from the like 70s or 80s, and like the sell-through rate was like outstanding. I'm like, okay, for $5, sure. You know, I just got to figure out which box to put it in or something, you know, or if it's a poly bag, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, like remember that black Americana, those salt and pepper shakers that I bought for
that lady,
sold for like 50. So there's definitely money in that stuff. And this is what I've just decided, because I'm asking everyone about their schedule, because I'm trying to figure mine out, and I just like to hear other people. Like for me,
I have no clue what mine will be. Yeah,
I know, Clay. We got to really work on yours. Like I get
mine will be pack, and once that's done, if I'm, let's say, caught up in 10 days, it'll be, well, I packed 2 orders. I guess I'm going sourcing. I mean, because if I don't have anything else to do, I have to go source, you know? Brian's like, that's not a schedule, but I mean, it will be if that's what that day calls for.
Do you relist at all on Posh?
Who?
What do you mean relist?
Like when you had you delete your listing and
No.
Either of you?
Well,
I wouldn't think you do. You seem like you're pretty busy, but if you don't have stuff to list and you have the time, it does work. Relisting does sell your stuff. Don't use the copy, that new feature that's
copy.
I'll have to look. Okay.
I think
so it's like people on eBay, they end it and they do sell similar, and they use their own listing or whatever.
Yeah, like like for me, this is what I'm thinking, trying to iron this out. This is probably more of a mastermind call, but it's okay. Like I've been getting up at 5 a.m. because I'm really motivated right now. Like I feel like I've got to really prove myself. And I may eventually sleep in a little bit later, but right now it's 5 a.m. Pack all the orders from the night before, be done by 8, so I can. The post office opens at 8, so there's a couple things. Number one, Chris's Patreon calls at 8 a.m. So if I'm not going sourcing that day, I want to be on his Patreon call because it motivates me and I gain so much knowledge. That's like 8 to 9. Now, if I'm going to go source, and what I'm thinking on days I go source to make it a full day kind of deal, like be out from like 8 to 4, 8 to 5, go source. Try to get enough inventory for the whole week where I only have to use one day to source. If I'm not, 8 o'clock, do Chris's call. That's over about 9 to 9:30. Go drop off at the post office. And this is where I've been slacking too. And I know Clay's trying to run. Like I haven't been running. My running is on.
Yeah.
I know it's bad. And so drop off post office, 9:30, go run, come home, depending on the time. If it's 11, like I usually don't eat breakfast. I try to fast till lunch, eat an early lunch, and then spend the whole afternoon from like 12 till 5 listing. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. And this is the other thought. Like I went garage selling today, and I don't like it for shoes. But as I talk this through with you guys, I think what I'm going to do is maybe give myself an hour or 2 hours a week somewhere where I selectively source online auctions like I was doing this summer, and not get so much, but just kind of cherry pick really good items. That way, because if I go garage selling on a Friday morning, if I'm spending 4 hours, I mean that's and I know Clay doesn't like this necessarily, but like Chris was telling us, like everyone in our reselling group, the Patreon, our time is $60 an hour or more. You got to like value, like what, like we were even talking about like trying to find inventory and inventory systems. And like this guy spent 20 minutes looking for an item. He goes like, your time is $1 an hour. So that's $20 you just kind of crap down the toilet because your inventory system wasn't set up. And I think that's why he's all about these processes and getting better, because we don't think about these things, but they add up and we don't think about it. God, where'd my brain go? I'll just
till you screw up, or not a screw up, till you have a delay like that.
Yeah. So your time is very okay. Yeah, your time's very valuable. So like this morning, I spent 3 hours garage selling, and I came home with one $40 pair of shoes. So at $60 an hour, like that's almost like $200 worth of my time that I wasted. Where I know because I'm mostly looking for shoes. But if I go to the online auction sites that I use,
you'll make
the 3 hours. The 3 hours of time, I will get more than $200 worth of merchandise. Way more.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So that's why I keep asking about schedules and models, because I'm really trying to figure mine out. And these are things we talk about all the time in his Patreon group, and I kind of want to share that.
Maybe that's like when I start coming down once or twice a week, just so I work better. Like we sit down and like not necessarily help each other, but help or be like, okay, it's auction time, or whatever, like that sort of thing, or be like, hey, you like this stuff, you want this or whatever,
Yeah, we could collaborate and spend a couple hours.
Just something, or it's just that's the time that it's we sit at your table and look at auctions,
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna build that in, a few hours a week, because I do like that, and I don't want to totally lose that, but I want to be the majority of my time that's not wholesale to be on shoes.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing garage sales, sometimes, I mean, Clay knows this. Sometimes we've been to garage sales and you hit the jackpot, but typically you may not find shoes. There may be other things there, but since that's not my model, if I'm looking for random things, I would do way better on an online auction, because I can research it and make that decision there on the spot. And if I win it, then I just have to go drive and pick it up. So I've just kind of made that determination.
Yeah.
See, we need to, when I'm.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Val.
No, you let me go. You go.
Okay. We need to do the North Dallas run that we were going to do over spring break finally, like in like 2 weeks. When I'm done, you come up and just do this 75 corridor of like Plano Richardson, where we just like, however it is, but like we're just crisscrossing 75 as we go north, or go to Allen and work down, or whatever it is, or McKinney. Yeah, like we literally could, maybe that's what we do. Maybe we just drive up 75 and start in McKinney early and just hit all the thrift stores within 5 miles of 75. That's
what Renzi was talking about, and I already kind of think like they do. It's kind of funny, but like I was Renzi, because there's very few that's all they do is shoes and then make videos. Renzi's one of the few that I've found. But that he talks about that, like go all the way out to your farthest place and then work your way up.
Instead of what we've done.
Okay. It's tiring, as y'all know. To do it for a full day, I've done this several times. Like by the end of the day, your brain is fried because it takes a lot of mental power researching and looking at comps all day. So by the end of the day, you're done. Like I don't think I've ever really listed if I sourced for 5 or 6 hours or more. Like I don't have any brain power left after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we got to get clear.
Challery, you're up, Challery.
Oh, I was just gonna say the online auctions sound like a smarter way to go. But also, if like garage sales are a stress reliever for you, like for me, that's like my social interaction. Working home alone all the time, I get to see my sister and my nieces and nephews, and it's like human time.
And for clothing, I think it makes way more sense because there's always so much clothing. Mm-hmm. And I do, like I briefly look, like if I see a cool jacket, I mean, I don't totally not do clothing, but it has to be something that really kind of pops out. But for you, I mean, you get and I get the social element now that I'm full time. It's just me in the garage most of the time. Mm-hmm. And I'm an introvert, so that's mostly
that sounds so sad. It's just me. It's not even the living room. It's me in the garage. You're like you've been banished, You and your cute little fucking hobby go up to the garage. Sorry, just
now you depressed me. I'm mostly
I live in 491 square feet, so
But no, I get it. Like I'm mostly okay with that, but you do, and I think that's why I need YouTube too now. Like even just having this live is a little social interaction. Because that's what we miss is like we were teaching in a building with almost 2,000 people in there and teams we worked with closely and students we worked with closely, and there's all the negative things, but there are good elements to that too, and that's gone.
We interacted with 150 kids a day on average, and
plus
now
probably about 10 to 20 teachers that we work closely with.
You see, like the ones in your hall, you talk to your department. Me and you in the last year, we'd see each other every few days, or you'd talk to Kathy. That's why, Val, I'm going to drive down to his house. We've talked about once or twice a week, even though it's like 40 minutes, just so I get out of my house, so I get to see him more, because I've still only seen Brian in person, 4 times since spring break. I think, right? I came down maybe 5, or whatever. It feels like more because we talk every day and text nonstop. But I'm going to go see him just so I know I'll get more work done if I go to hang out with him, and I get to see him. We'll go to eat some, we'll source.
Because he knows I'm like a machine. Like we're going to work
I'll go home going, I have nothing to do. I got 8 days of work done in 20 minutes.
We did that when we did those storage units. He came over and we 2 or 3 days of that.
Yeah.
4 days, like 8 10 hours of just listing, and it was pretty cool. Like we had the mannequin set up because we had all this clothing. Like I would photograph, finish my listing, then he would go, and we were just kind of rotating.
Yeah, we just alternated.
We got a lot of stuff. I've sold most of that stuff.
Yeah, because I've sold, Oh, I'm running out, but I think there's still some. I'll still probably bring sometimes some stuff just to take pictures of, especially if it's shoes. I just buy them, leave them in the car, and then while you're taking pictures of shoes, use the other light box. Or I've even thought some lately, like I told Angie, I'll go get some sort of backdrop and go work at her house, on the back porch. If it's a sunny day, literally use sunlight, just put a white cloth up, on her back porch, or get a piece of wood like Renzi uses, especially if it's just shoes or something. And because if she's not going to doctors yet, she's just in her living room working, but she has the TV on, and I can't do that. I mean, I do it all the time, 90% of the time, but I need like no noise to work. So if I would work with Brian or on the back porch.
Well, my interaction is usually YouTube, and I am back. Like I hadn't watched any reseller content like while I was doing both, but now it's like okay, I'm full time, so I'm consuming that while I list, and I can mostly do that unless it's something really like something
you
really
can listen.
Yeah. Well, here's another interesting. I told Clay about this, and I know you're not on eBay, but eBay. This is a cool thing, Val. Like eBay has a background remover, so you take your picture. Well, I'll show you. But you take your picture, and you click the tool. It frames your picture, and you click it, and it makes everything around it white. And sometimes it's not perfect, and you can use your finger to go around it to try to get it pure white. And with my big fingers, I wasn't quite able to get it right, so I bought some styluses, and I was showing Clay. I seen the pictures, and the stylus, man, those pictures look great. And here's the cool thing, because I use list perfectly, so I list on eBay. Then you get those pure white backgrounds. Then I cross list to the other platforms. Those pics with the white background go to the other platforms. And I have noticed, Clay, since I've used those this week, I've had several shoes I've listed this week that look those white backgrounds that have sold. And on other platforms.
And are you? And just still, I know to clarify, just the first picture, right?
Yeah, right now it's just for time's sake.
Yeah, to get them in.
That's one that's showing up when people are searching.
Val, do you know about the app Photo Fuse? It's an FOTO. Go look it up. It's free. There's a free version that I've always used. It removes the background.
Yeah, that's what I used to use.
Hello, Chadsworth, the world's greatest practical mechanic.
Clay says, hello, Chadsworth, the world's greatest practical mechanic. You guys are in my headphones.
Okay. But yeah, look at Photo Fuse because it works. Brian will tell you it works. I think overall it works just the removing better than the eBay one. But it's like a few steps. You can upload a picture or take a picture in the app. Then you basically click use photo. You use your finger and like outline it in yellow. Click the next button and it thinks and it'll tell you when it's done. You click the picture. You hit save to phone. Boom, done. Then you could go and put that as your first picture. Because I do that on clothes. Most of the clothes I at least was. I'm trying to go back now.
So do you guys have white backgrounds when you're taking the photos?
Yeah, I do it in a light box, and the light box gives you a white background, but to get the pure white, the background remover gives you that pure, and that makes your item really pop. And then Google search, it ranks higher because that's what they want. The white backgrounds shown to sell the best.
So for Posh, the room that I use for photographing is my bedroom, and it has like purpley mauve walls. And at first it did bug the crap out of me not having white, but I kind of like the way it looks with like my vintage.
Yeah, it's a good color.
Yeah. But yeah, if I were to do eBay, I would.
Well, and there are some people that they go with that intentionally, and it may probably work a little better on Posh. Well, even Renzi, like you said, some people do with a wood background. So it doesn't mean that won't sell. It's just statistically, it seems to help. And like I've noticed this week, taking those pics and using the stylus to get the outline perfect or almost perfect. It seems like they're selling faster. I don't know, but then again, I'm listing more too, so I don't know if I'm triggering the algorithm and getting all these listings up. There's a lot of factors that play at once, but I would say in general, a pure white background is a good thing. I don't think it's a deal breaker, but I'd be curious, if you could test it, like what I don't know, if you could test how your cells are with your regular background versus the white one. I don't know.
Yeah, because I've tried to go back and redo some that I didn't do that on. At least on eBay. On Posh, I started and then I got sidetracked and never went back to,
Well, eBay's is so easy. I like PhotoFuse. I was using Photo. I told Clay about PhotoFuse back in the day, and I think it is a great app. But eBay's is so fast, and
Now
it's
that they
built
added it,
into
yeah.
the app. Like
Yeah.
so it takes almost no time to get that pure white.
Yeah, theirs is faster, even just without it being part of the app. Yeah, now with you got the stylus too to go in on your phone and like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Maybe
I'm doing.
those there, and if theirs could get as good as PhotoFuse, whatever PhotoFuse does, because their technology is awesome.
Well,
Unless it's a white item, Val. If it's white, I've realized you don't do it because it disappears.
Then you just color the whole screen.
There's just certain things and certain colors. I'm like, maybe even a black shirt. I was like, no, like or strapless or something. I'm like, just nope. That's a good picture. That one's good enough. My white background on the wall, it's as good as it's gonna get. It'll sell eventually. It was like a free dress from Angie. It'll sell. Like if it disappears, what good is it? Yeah.
So let me show you. I don't know. You tell me what you think. And you're right. Some colors don't turn out so great. Like I see one, and I'm like, ooh. But overall, like,
and some hard goods are weird looking too with the all white background.
So like, I listed these yesterday, and you can see with a tool like a little bit right there. I didn't get quite get, but overall, it's like pure white. Like this is with a background remover, and this is just with the light box. So it's,
yeah, that would be nice because my light box is all scuffed up on the bottom from shoes.
Oh, mine is too, and
mine's.
And I use the Havoc's light box, and they're out of stock on those. Like my vinyl has broke, and like I need to replace it, and I can't find it anymore. So I have white photography paper. So I cut off. Like, see, this one gets bled out. Like the color doesn't look good. Like that black gets bled out. If you zoom, it shows up a little better. I found these Air Max 90s at a Goodwill. I couldn't find any other comps like that. Those pictures didn't look that good. But in general, I mean, most of them kind of pop more with that white back. Like the shoes that have color really show out better, or the dress shoes.
What direction, Val, do you put your first shoe picture? To the side or an angle?
Profile or the 3/4?
Neither. Mine are like this.
Oh, that's right. I've seen that. That's right. That's your first. Okay.
They're like what?
Like this.
Will you show us one? I've seen it. Show Brian. I forgot.
Pull up my shoes
because I started doing the Renzi / Rally.
Let me pull it.
Like the month ago. That side view.
Yeah, like I've switched some. Like you saw, I was doing some on the side too.
I've gone through and I think changed all of them so that it's that.
Well, that's the like the professional, like Nike and all them. You'll see.
That's what Rally said about a month ago. They were like, "Hey, they know."
Oh, but I will say, I mean, I think it depends on the shoe. Like, some show up better.
So this is how I like to do my.
Ooh, I like those.
My cover shoe.
Ooh, where did you get those?
Garage sale. They were like $2.
Good
was like $2.20 or something.
Oh my gosh, those are beautiful shoes.
See, we live in I do need to drive up there. I need my cat to get really well so I could take a road trip soon,
Well, that's kind of like a 3/4 profile, the first one.
I like how people it's like a clear acrylic box, and they kind of have one up on it and then one ground level or whatever.
And I can't find mine. Yeah, the platforms, the shoe platforms.
What are they even called? I look on Amazon. I'm like, what is it even called?
Shoe platforms, photography, something like that. You'll find them. Or here, let me see.
I wouldn't mind too having like the clear acrylic thing that goes in the shoe to help it keep its form.
Yeah,
right now, I use that free, like the big bubbles you get in your Amazon packages. Like I'll shove one of those in there, but sometimes you can see it.
Have some shoe horn things that Renzi used. They're flexible.
Oh.
And that you can see like the little black kind of the flexible part sticking up. But I'm like, I don't think anybody cares. They can tell that it's a
So I've got all this stuff, but like right now, I need to spend like a day cleaning and organizing. I can't find half of my stuff. It's a bummer.
Oh,
I do have these shoe, we call them the shoe trees. Like I bought a big auction that had like 10 of them at an online auction, and I actually use them, like the inserts. All right, I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna take this call.
Okay. You want to talk about him? We can talk crap about him right now. He's not listening.
He might still hear us. He might just have the volume low.
Big Red, you listening, Big Red? Look like you picked your nose, Big Red.
I thought that's what he was gonna do. It's like, no, you're still on camera.
It's that deal like when you're a kid. And what is it? Wait, I need to turn on the side. Oh, wait, the other way. It'd be the other. Yeah, like. I fooled you. If anyone's watching right now, they're like, "What idiot!" I can't tell who's watching because I'm on like Safari on my phone, so can't see who's.
So I've got a list of YouTubers for you to watch to learn brands. They're who I watched to learn when I first started.
Yeah.
Like getting into clothes and stuff. I don't watch them now just because I'm really personality based, and they have to be a personality like I can continually.
I got a piece of paper if you want to tell me some that I should.
Street Savvy. She finds a lot of mountain brands and a lot of like higher end stuff. Like she knows her higher end stuff.
Okay.
You got Street Savvy, Common Tags. She does both. Like she does separate videos, so she'll show you like lower end bread and butter brands, but then she'll do separate videos of like higher end, what you should pay up for or what's worth your money. So I like that she does that. If you can stand it, Nicole State. She does a lot of showing you what sells, but I don't know if that's. I don't want to talk crap on your channel. Nothing. Never mind.
Okay. What codes are important? I used to watch so many of those. Like I put one out this week. I'm like, all right. And that's the other thing. I've got to try to resurrect my dead YouTube channel. Like all 4 viewers. Thank you, by the way. I probably played one of them.
You gained a few people this week. I thought, it looked like.
Yeah, it's picking up a little bit. But I know if you're not active, like you lose momentum. Like in the spring, I had good momentum, like March, April, May. Then tied up. So I'm gonna try to at least do a what sold video, do a couple of videos a week, at least a live a week, and interact on other channels too. I don't want to make it like it's my main goal, but I do think if we're gonna be full-time resellers, we should probably. And I see Val, like you. What did I notice? Like you got it. What did you add? Like your channel, it seems like you've got some good momentum going. What was it I noticed?
I took 2 months off and I lost it. I was doing, they have like your 28 days. They do it in 28 days. And my subscriber count was always a positive at minimum of 48. It was just gaining and gaining. I took 2 months off and my 28 days went down to -4, which was crazy. Completely my fault, but getting it back up there again. My goal was to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. And if I would have stayed on track, I would have been monetized by the end of the year because I would have had the view times, but then I took the 2 months.
Hey, it's okay. No, I'm right there with you. I'm basically the same thing with you. I'd like to hit 1,000 by the end. I think I'm at 617-ish. Like I had been, like I hadn't been doing it, and just doing the book reviews wasn't really doing it. I'm still going to do them because I think that's valuable, but I think I need to make it more reselling. But the funny thing is, and y'all probably all know this, even like a small channel like me, like you'll have, and it's kind of funny. I don't see the normal people. I wonder if Fridays are a bad day to go live, but like you'll have a small of loyal people that follow you and want to see your content. What were you saying, Clay?
I was going to say, or they just didn't get a notification. Like, I think I just checked because like I do get notifications from some people. There's a lot. I've turned off notifications for most people. No, but I turned it off for most people. Like if I want to watch, I'll go to the person's channel, But
what
today,
I'm hearing is you turn off notifications from.
Well,
for you today, I think but I don't always notice.
Go find you.
I just don't always notice. I don't always notice the little ones and stuff because I don't like getting notifications because I don't like having the little red numbers all over my phone. That thing, like, it's an OCD thing, obviously, but like that's partially why I don't like it. Whereas like I think I have all the noises turned off for eBay and Posh and all that
I mean, I like
because
the
I'm going to check it every few minutes. I'm going to check it every few minutes, and I know most of the time I don't have a sale. I'm only selling maybe one thing a day. So, but I check it like I'm a teenager waiting for a text or something, you know. So
it's that positive reinforcement. Like it validates that you're doing the right thing.
I wish Posh would make a
yeah, so I'll check it.
Yeah, Posh needs to make what would be a good Poshmark sound, because they need to stay true to their brand. What it'd be something girly for
In my
sure.
head.
Remember when they
You have a sale.
they changed the icons around, and do you remember it used to be, it was a green little dollar or something when you made a sale in your news feed, and then they changed it. They tried to update it, and then there was the little green mark when you got an offer declined. Do you remember that? It was short-lived. I think people were mad at it. It was funny though.
Oh, and speaking of, here's something else that we talked about on our Patreon. I told Clay this, that I'm trying, and Chris, a lot of us are doing, is switching. Like on eBay with managed payments, you can get paid daily or weekly. But for bookkeeping purposes, this guy on our Patreon said he put all his different apps on weekly. So on Tuesday, he cashes everything out. And that way it's easier to see like what you're making each week, where like I've been doing it daily, so it just all blends together. But I've switched over to Tuesday, so I let all my eBay money build, all my Poshmark, all my Mercari. Now, Facebook Marketplace is going to send it when they want to. OfferUp's going to send it when they want to. But those three big ones, if you switch it to weekly, I don't know. Because we're so big on goals and in that group and keeping track of stuff, it just makes it a little easier. So that was exciting to me, but that just made me.
I did switch. Oh, sorry. I did switch that. And I think, Brian, there is a way maybe on eBay for us to maybe get shipping taken out. Orlando had something in his Instagram the other day, and I commented, because I comment on all their stuff,
Right.
or him, and he wrote back
Sure,
something. So I did like a screenshot. So tonight I'll look at my screenshots and see what it is. But I think there might be a way. Because I'd rather them just take it out and not use that other account I'm using.
PayPal. And because I didn't have anything in my PayPal and I had my personal checking attached, like my wife was like, "What are all these shipping charges through PayPal?" Oh crap! I'm like eBay is obviously,
yeah.
Because I didn't have any funds in there, so I got to figure that out too. So I deleted our checking account. I do have my business account. Like worst case, it comes out of the business account. And in my spreadsheet, I now have I keep track of my shipping costs too. Like I'm really working on getting my numbers right, because my wife is like, "You quit your job. I kind of like to know what how much money are you making?" So like I'm really tightening up my record keeping. Not that she doesn't trust me. It's just like it's a security thing.
Yeah. Well,
so I texted her on Friday.
I didn't do it yesterday. Yeah. But I started to send screenshots. There's more to this, Val, and people watching it might not make sense, but Brian will understand. I've gone back to starting to send screenshots of my regular bank account, my reseller bank account, my credit card, all that to Angie, just so she knows, kind of to try to help me. Like if I, let's say, start eating out a ton again, which I don't, like I did before Corona, that's made me eat at home, go to the grocery store, but like just that sort of stuff, Val. And also some of my coping mechanisms are big spender ways in, with bad childhood. So it's like, I've gone back to that, but I'm going to start sending her like everything, even that, like the account that pays for the Claymobile, that's where all my shipping comes out of. But I'd rather like leave that account alone and let that build up or whatever, or not, that's why I haven't touched Posh. I think I have like almost $1,100 in Posh that I can move over, but that's kind of now my emergency, like I'm like, okay, the parents paid me, so I can pay bills through the middle of October. But now at least I know I have November rent, just in Poshmark. And I almost have set aside everything I need to for taxes for eBay and Posh. So I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to let Posh just build. I don't know, for however long. Maybe December 31st I move it. Ooh, that'd be a good goal. See if I can not touch it. Not charge and not touch that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I get it.
That'd be tough, but maybe. We'll
All
see.
Right, we've hit the 3-hour mark. I think it's been pretty productive talk. It's good to see y'all.
I can tell you've hit a wall.
Well, Claudia's picking up some food from Whataburger, and I know Chadsworth is there, and I think Clay's been waiting to go run. But Monday, I'll put the link. We'll do our mastermind and the book club right after. So,
what are we on, chapter 5?
I think so.
Okay.
Whatever the next one is. So, y'all have a good weekend. All right. Hey, and thank you all 3 to 4 viewers.
Okay.
Sad channel. Y'all have a good weekend. Later.
Bye, guys.
Peace. I'm just gonna go ahead and end, man. Well, you want to
say it again?
It's good. Yeah, I need the little bit of social interaction on here for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, we're still live.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, I'm so dumb.
Oh, I did that one time.